Hi everyone! If you enjoy my content and want more videos, support me in Ko-fi. The link in the description. Chapter 411, the second portion of Innate Demon Chi. He quit the game, and in reality, the time had already reached 2 o'clock in the early morning. Sunan lay down in bed and fell into a deep sleep. When he woke up again, it was already broad daylight. Out of habit, he opened the forum and started browsing. The forum was filled with tens of thousands of new posts, but they were mostly trivial matters, lacking substance. Sunan hadn't expected to find any useful information and was just casually perusing, but soon he realized that today's forum was different. Demon Beasts. A large number of posts about the appearance of demon beasts surged to the top of the hot list. Shock! The entire guild of players from the Xianzhou province's Demon Slayer Guild lost control overnight. This eye-catching headline attracted the attention of a large number of players, and it was quickly pushed to the top of the hot list by numerous views and replies. It's the Demon Beasts. The Demon Slayer Guild took on a task related to demon beasts, but when they arrived at the task location, the demon beast broke free from the ancient formation. Many were instantly overtaken by the demonic chi and lost control, and many survived, but were also invaded by demonic chi, at risk of losing control at any time. This is too tragic. It's said that once you are invaded by demonic chi, there's no solution, and the only fate left is to lose control. Although player deaths in the demon world had become the norm after its descent into reality, and even complete deaths were quite common. The simultaneous complete deaths of hundreds from demonic chi invasion, losing control, and dying, still cast a chilling sorrow in many people's hearts, giving them a sense of impending doom akin to the loss of a protective barrier. Could it really be that there's no solution to demon beasts? Isn't there a way to resist the invasion of demonic chi? Some people grumbled, not resigned to their fate. No solution. Even in ancient times, many powerful people who practiced the ancient scriptures would lose control once invaded by demonic chi. However, it's said that some powerful people could forcibly suppress the demonic chi. Considering we already have major flaws from integrating demon bloodlines, which can easily lead to losing control, the probability of losing control after being invaded by demonic chi greatly increases. I heard about someone who was invaded by demonic chi and desperately tried to become a demon themselves, but sadly, they all failed. The terror of demonic chi left everyone in despair. For a time, all players developed an inexplicable fear of demon beasts. Even some players who had already triggered tasks related to demon beasts dared not attempt them lightly anymore. But all of these were nothing compared to what came next. Continuing to scroll down, more posts related to demon beasts caught Sunan's eye. In just one night, a domain in Xianzhou province has been occupied by demon beasts. It has turned into a demonic domain for humans, shrouded in demonic chi. All demons and human experts have been invaded by demonic chi. The demon catastrophe in our northern ice province has intensified. The demon hunting teams formed by humans returned defeated. Not only did they fail to kill the demon beasts in the perpetual ice field, but many were invaded by demonic chi, and now the range of activity of those demon beasts has begun to spread into human territories. Our Dongchen state is also about to experience a demon catastrophe. It's said that Great Yu Imperial City will soon release an unmatched great demon. Everyone, run for your lives. Once that demon beast breaks free, we will all be invaded by demonic chi and lose control. Almost every one of the 12 states was plagued by the ravaging of demon beasts, and the widespread emergence of demon beasts was with Sunan's expectations. He had known for a long time that as the heavenly and earthly vitality recovered, the formations suppressing demon beasts would gradually lose effectiveness. But what he hadn't expected was how quickly the demon beasts would break free. In just one day, signs of demon beast outbreaks had appeared in various states. At this rate, it seemed that soon, the demon world would truly become a world filled with demons. The fourth calamity for the human race has arrived. Sunan's expression grew grave. It was no longer a case of a calamity approaching, the calamity was already upon them. As for the demon clan, there was no need to mention them, they were already on stage. The heavenly race was also on the way. Continuing to browse the forum, he focused on information related to the Tianzhou province. Soon, a post that was just published caught his attention. Heaven has eyes, I did nothing, and unexpectedly received an inheritance. My chi luck increased by 300 points, and I also obtained a set of ancient scriptures. The post didn't show any screenshots. Obviously, the player was cautious, wanting to boast, yet not wanting others to know exactly what they had obtained. But to Sunan, it was clear what the player had obtained. 300 points of chi luck and a set of ancient scriptures. This was the same as what he had received from the Daoxuanzi inheritance. It was evident that someone had received one of the remaining 99 inheritances. So soon, the rest of those inheritances have surfaced. Su Nan was surprised. He had thought that the appearance of the 90 plus other qualifications would take some time, possibly even a long while. After all, if the emergence of each inheritance was accompanied by the emergence of ancient ruins, like in his case, then it was impossible for 100 inheritances to appear all at once. Now it seemed he had thought too much. Not all inheritances would be accompanied by the emergence of relics. The way each inheritance appeared varied. Thus, when the 100 inheritances would all surface was hard to say, it was not impossible for them to all appear within one day. 300 points of chi luck? Has anyone noticed that on today's chi luck ranking list, more than one person suddenly increased by 300 points of chi luck? Had you not mentioned it, I wouldn't have noticed. I just logged into the game and took a closer look. Among the top 100 on the chi luck ranking list, there are suddenly 5 more with over 400 points of chi luck. These people previously only had a little over 100 points of chi luck, some not even ranking within the top 1000, and now they've entered the top 100. Now, God Lu Di, who was 4th on the list, has been pushed down to 5th, replaced by a god called Kongdi, with a full 700 points of chi luck. Previously, God Kongda had only over 400 points of chi luck and was ranked beyond the 20th place, but now he has gained another 300 points of chi luck. The chi luck of God Zhongyang, who's ranked first, has also increased by exactly 300 points. What's happening? What unknown event has occurred? Why did their chi luck suddenly increase by so much? The significant changes on the chi luck ranking list puzzled everyone. Many people had noticed when Zhongyang's chi luck increased before, but they didn't take it seriously. After all, even if they hadn't seen Zhongyang's strength for themselves, they had heard about it. Hunting a king-class demon beast was a breeze for him. Many people simply assumed that Zhongyang had hunted some powerful person and obtained their chi luck. But now, with several others also increasing their chi luck by 300 points, it was impossible not to connect the dots. Moreover, they quickly discovered that, aside from Zhongyang, the other 5 individuals who had increased their chi luck were all players from Tianjia province, which deepened the mystery. Many speculated that something must have happened in Tianjia province. Could it be that they've all received an inheritance? Finally, someone linked it to the posts players had published earlier. Suddenly, the other players were no longer calm. Unbeknownst to them, so many had obtained inheritances, and they knew nothing about it. Including myself, 6 people have obtained inheritances within one day. If the remaining inheritances continue to appear at this rate, it's possible that the inheritance from the Gi sect might appear before I leave Tianjia province. After reading this, Su Nan's eyes also revealed a hint of surprise. Too bad his avatar in the foreknowledge died on the 3rd day, and thereafter, he had no more information about Tianjia province. He continued browsing other posts. Before long, another post caught his attention. A demon beast has appeared in Panyan Valley. A town within the valley has been completely slaughtered by the demon beast. The Angel Alliance has received the task of eliminating the demon and has already headed to Panyan Valley, preparing to kill that demon beast. This Angel Alliance is really not afraid of death, huh? Demons are so dangerous, yet they still dare to charge forward. Do they really value task rewards over their lives? The Angel Alliance dares to take action because, reportedly, the demon beast's realm is not high, only at Xian level, and it's not one of the demons from ancient times that were suppressed. It became a demon a few years ago from a martial artist of the Shengxiu Gate. Panyan Valley? Su Nan's gaze flickered as he realized that in his foreknowledge, he found a king-class demonic beast today, and that demonic beast was found in Panyan Valley. Now this is interesting, my target has caught the attention of the Angel Alliance. I wonder how many members the Angel Alliance will lose this time. Su Nan sneered. In the foreknowledge, that demon wasn't at the Xian level but at the king level. The difference between realms was like heaven and earth. In the game, his avatar was already on his way to Panyan Valley, so he didn't need to be particularly concerned. He continued browsing the forum. Not much later, another post drew his attention. It was a post related to the Chinese government and himself. The Chinese government is preparing to build Buddha temples throughout the country and use them as the center to create large-scale shelters, preparing for a potential future apocalypse. This post had just been released and hadn't had many views yet. Seeing this post, Su Nan's eyes lit up. The officials have actually adopted it. He was somewhat surprised as he'd mentioned it casually in front of Zhao Qifeng and hadn't held much hope, yet unexpectedly, the officials had taken it seriously. There were many Buddha temples throughout the country, but having a temple did not guarantee that he would receive incense. Su Nan had discovered this a long time ago. The scope within which he could receive incense was actually quite limited, only around Song Mountain, within a radius of several dozen miles. This area wasn't too small yet wasn't too large either. Beyond this distance, even if people worshipped him, he wouldn't receive incense. The reason for this was that those temples lacked divine Dao ritual artifacts. Su Nan had once thought about crafting some divine Dao ritual artifacts to place in some densely populated areas, but after the demons descended, that plan became unfeasible. Since the demons arrived, the big cities, being crowded, were the first impacted, while the more remote rural areas fared much better. Learning from the experience, most people scattered to the countryside, and now only Song Mountain, due to his presence, still gathered a large population, making it an exception. Things are different now. The official plans to construct shelters, and when the time comes, everyone will surely gather again. He only needs to place a divine Dao ritual artifact in each shelter, and as long as there are people who believe in him, he would have a constant flow of incense fire aspiration force. It seems that the refinement of the divine Dao ritual artifact should be put on the schedule. He had acquired the method for refining the divine Dao ritual artifact long ago, and implementation was quite simple. Over 10 minutes later, having found no other useful information, he logged out of the forum. His figure vanished and reappeared, and now Su Nan was inside the Great Hero Treasure Hall. Feeling the changes in the supreme divine soil, a smile appeared on his lips. It had been only 3 days since the spatial channel opened last time, and in this short period, his previously depleted incense fire aspiration force had recovered by nearly 90%. The speed of recovery was much faster than before, and the reasons were not only the growth of the vow spirit of divine Dao but also the blessing from the supreme divine soil along with the continuous chi luck of incense fire. If things continued this way, in just a few more hours, his incense fire aspiration force would return to the level it was at when the supreme divine soil was first constructed. However, unlike before, the incense fire aspiration force refined now is not stored in his divine soul sea anymore but within the divine soil. If he wants to use the incense fire aspiration force now, he must first extract it from the divine soil. Once again, he glanced at the two vow spirits. By now, his own vow spirit of divine Dao had already grown into a youth of 17 or 18, while the joyful deity's vow spirit had even become a young woman of 23 or 24. Fortunately, the vow spirit of the joyful deity had been stable this whole time, without exhibiting any anomalies. Assuring that there were no issues, he left again. This time he came to a cave halfway up the mountain. With a wave of his sleeve, the Xianhuang refining chi furnace and the destruction demon eye appeared before him. Last time, he had already smelted the destruction demon eye into innate demon chi, and now he planned to use the supreme divine soil's power to smelt it again. With more than 30 foreknowledge times left, he unhesitatingly began to use foreknowledge. You do not have enough foreknowledge times to continue the foreknowledge. Not enough foreknowledge times. Seeing this, Su Nan's eyes lit up. This was a good thing, at least indicating that there would be no problems with this smelting. With insufficient foreknowledge times, he could only resort to the old methods. He decided to begin with foreknowledge for 10 hours. You have obtained a demon eye left by a certain primordial demon god, and you plan to thoroughly smelt it using the Xianhuang refining chi furnace. After 2 hours, half of your strength has been consumed, and there's no change in the destruction demon eye within the Xianhuang refining chi furnace. 4 hours later, your strength is nearly depleted, and you are forced to attempt to harness the power of everyone in the supreme divine soil. 4.5 hours later, a terrifying force suddenly erupts from within the Xianhuang refining chi furnace, but thanks to its containment, it does not cause you any harm. Immediately afterward, you find that the Xianhuang refining chi furnace is no longer devouring your power, so you cease the smelting and open the furnace. Inside the Xianhuang refining chi furnace, the destruction demon eye has disappeared, replaced by a wisp of innate demon chi. 6 hours later, with the innate demon chi, you enter another world. 10 hours later, you return to reality, and by then, that strand of innate demon chi has already been fused into your avatar. As expected, the process was successful. Fusing 2 portions of innate demon chi, I wonder what sort of terrifying entity my avatar will become. A single portion of innate demon chi enables one to achieve a breakthrough beyond the God level, to exist above the God level. With 2 portions of innate demon chi, wouldn't breaking through even above the God level be a breeze? The thought alone excited Su Nan. The foreknowledge ended approximately here, and seeing the remaining 20 plus foreknowledge times, his mind turned to the purple stone. With the power he now wielded, could he smelt something out of it? Chapter 412. God and Demon Sky Devour. You've obtained an unknown purple stone, and out of curiosity about what the purple stone actually is, you plan to restore it to its original form using the Xianhuang refining chi furnace. 2 hours later, over half of your strength has been depleted, with no changes occurring in the Xianhuang refining chi furnace. 4 hours later, your strength is nearly exhausted, but at the critical moment, you activate the Supreme Divine Soil and mobilize the power within the Supreme Divine Soil. 6 hours later, your strength has been drained, forcing you to stop the refining process. Upon opening the Xianhuang refining chi furnace, you are surprised to find that the purple stone is shrouded in wisps of purple fog. The purple fog lingers around the surface of the stone, giving off a mysterious aura. You do not know what it is and dare not be careless. You attempt to touch the fog but discover that nothing unusual occurs. You try picking up the stone directly, also without sensing anything abnormal. 10 hours later, after continuous research, you still cannot determine the use of the purple fog and are forced to give up. You do not know that this is a presence from chaos, possessing incredible effects. Well, the refining finally yielded something, but still don't know what it's good for. Su Nan shook his head. Having refined and obtained the purple fog, foreknowledge finally provided a hint, but unfortunately, it merely informed him that the purple stone is from chaos, glossing over its purpose. It seems I can only wait until my strength advances further before trying to refine it again. Abandoning the plan to continue refining the purple stone, looking at the destruction demon eye in his hand, he threw it into the Xianhuang refining chi furnace to begin refinement. 6 hours later, accompanied by a terrifying force erupting from the Xianhuang refining chi furnace, the refining process gradually ceased. The Xianhuang refining chi furnace opened, and inside was a stream of black chi identical to the innate demon chi he had initially obtained, floating in the furnace. Su Nan didn't dare to touch it, his true body wasn't a demon beast, and what might happen upon contact with the innate demon chi was unpredictable. He simply collected the Xianhuang refining chi furnace along with its contents. Enter game. Through personal space, he teleported the Xianhuang refining chi furnace into his avatar's hands. The second thread of innate demon chi. The avatar was overjoyed and couldn't resist wanting to merge with it. Of course, to be on the safe side, he decided to use foreknowledge first. The last 10 plus foreknowledge attempts were all consumed. No abnormal situations occurred, and the good news was that with the integration of the second thread of innate demon chi, the process of completely merging with the first thread, which was almost fully integrated, accelerated. The first thread of innate demon chi, which was supposed to fully merge several hours later, merged with him completely. Turns out there's this unexpected perk. Although a few hours earlier or later didn't make much difference to him, Su Nan was naturally happy to witness the changes from merging with the innate demon chi sooner. Confident that there wouldn't be any problems, he then began to merge with the second thread of innate demon chi. As the second thread of innate demon chi entered his avatar's body, the first thread, which was nearly integrated, was stimulated and its integration speed surged. An indescribable aura burst forth from the avatar, ancient and vast as if an ancient and powerful existence had awakened from a deep sleep. In an instant, the connection between the avatar and the demon abyss was suddenly strengthened by more than several times, and a massive amount of demonic chi, as if cascading, surged from the demon abyss. On the avatar's body, dark and complex patterns spread rapidly, covering most of his body in the blink of an eye. These patterns resembled formations and contained special power. This was the sign that the first thread of innate demon chi had completely integrated. At the same time, in the unknown depths of darkness within the demon abyss, a terrifying existence was startled awake, sensing the subtle changes and feeling perplexed. Is this the birth of an innate demon god? Which little guy is so lucky to have obtained innate demon chi? Interesting, I didn't expect to wake up to such a surprise. The unseen presence's voice revealed a hint of joy, and demonic chi surged as it moved with the greatest speed towards the direction from where Su Nan's avatar's aura originated. Unfortunately, it was evidently quite far from the entrance of the passage between the demon abyss and Su Nan's avatar, and by the time it approached, the tumultuous demonic chi had already settled. However, the entity did not give up and continued to search in the direction of the previously sensed aura. And many others were doing the same. An innate demon god has been born. No. It's not a demon god, just a little guy who got the innate demon chi. Based on the situation, it's only at the king level. Opportunity. This is our chance. If we can find that lucky individual, perhaps we could extract the innate demon chi from their body. What is innate demon chi? It's the origin strength that formed at the inception of the demon abyss, with only 9 strands in existence. Once one acquires the innate demon chi, they can reverse their innate condition and become a true innate demon god. The future holds limitless possibilities. In the past, only innate demon gods could wield innate demon chi, and each of those beings was a colossus, someone they couldn't even dream of touching. But now things are different. A king-level little guy has obtained innate demon chi, which is like a child holding gold in a bustling market. It's their chance. Almost simultaneously, the previously calm demon abyss boiled over. Not just this. At the very moment Su Nan's avatar fully merged with the innate demon chi, many unknown sealed lands, some suppressed demon beasts, also sensed something unusual and began frantically assaulting the formations, eager to break free as soon as possible. Rolling demonic chi poured into the avatar's body. The aura of the avatar changed continuously, and at this moment, even without devouring a demon beast, the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra was rapidly improving. Finally, when all abnormalities disappeared, a terrifying aura erupted from the avatar's body. Congratulations, you have fused with the innate demon chi, reversing the innate and becoming an innate demon creature. Congratulations, you have become an innate demon creature, and your talent has awakened. Please check the personal information panel. It's done. A smile appeared on the corners of Su Nan's mouth as he immediately looked towards the personal information panel. On the panel, under the racial talent section, a new talent had appeared. God and Demon Sky Devour. Having cultivated the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra and awakened the racial talent by merging with the innate demon chi, this talent allows you to devour all spirits of heaven and earth, nurturing your own body with the power of all spirits. The function of the talent had already been told to him through foreknowledge. There was nothing good to see. What Su Nan needed to do now was to see just how far this talent could go. A demonic emperor was released from his universe in the sleeve. This demonic emperor was the very one who had made a move against him at Han Li Lake previously. Upon seeing Su Nan, the demonic emperor burst out instantly, utilizing his racial talent, and aimed his strongest strike at Su Nan. Naturally unafraid, Su Nan drew the dragon-slaying sword in his hand. The long sword swung, tearing heaven and earth apart. A moment later, the demonic emperor was seriously injured. Knowing it was no match for Su Nan, invoking the power of heaven and earth, it turned to run. Su Nan did not hold back, swinging his sword and cutting it down. He walked over to the fallen demonic emperor with measured steps, deployed the God and Demon Sky Devour, and instantly, rolling demonic chi enveloped the demonic emperor. The demonic chi, as if coming to life, crazily burrowed into the body of the demonic emperor, seeking to erode every corner of its body. Demon! You are actually a demon! The powerless howl of the demonic emperor was filled with fear and also confusion. How could a demon possibly inherit a human legacy? How could a demon possibly wield a divine weapon of the human race? Alas, no one was destined to answer these questions for him. The demonic chi quickly eroded every corner of the demonic emperor's body and then formed into a gaping maw of greed, voraciously devouring everything. The process was swift. When the demonic chi returned to Su Nan's body, the demonic emperor had already turned into a dry corpse. At this moment inside its body, both essence and blood and divine soul had been devoured empty. What a pity! Su Nan couldn't help but shake his head. The demonic emperor was from the secret power system, its divine soul powerful. Initially, he had thought to extract its divine soul to make a paper puppet demon, but now it seemed impossible. You used God and Demon Sky Devour to devour an emperor-level demon. Your chi luck has increased. Congratulations on gaining 200 points of demon race luck. A message popped up, and on the ranking list, Su Nan's rank among the demon race improved, with the remaining available fortune increasing by 200, reaching 300 points. 200 points of fortune. Su Nan furrowed his brows. An emperor-level demon, contributing only 200 points of fortune honestly, was too little. After some thought, he could only come up with one possibility. I'm a demon, whereas I devoured a member of the demon clan. Perhaps because of the difference between the two races, a large amount of fortune was lost with only a small portion converting into demon race luck. If I devoured a demon, perhaps the situation would be better. Apart from fortune, something else had increased within his body, though it was not indicated on the panel. It was a force, a strange bloodline power. The foreknowledge mentioned before, devouring demon beasts could increase the power of the bloodline. It seems that is referring to this power. With a thought, he decided to transfer that force to his true body. Although this avatar could manipulate the power of the bloodline, it actually had no bloodline. The bloodlines of all three roles were within the true body. As the true body and avatar were separated by distances, transferring was difficult, but luckily he had another object at his disposal. The God Descending Talisman. The true body could use the Mother Talisman to transfer power to the avatar, and with the Child Talisman switched with the Mother Talisman, he could naturally transfer his own power to the true body. Using the God Descending Talisman, without any mishap, he successfully transferred the power to the true body. Dongchen State. Su Nan's true body felt the power surging within and tried to integrate it with the Physique Series Golden Dragon Demon bloodline. However, to his frowning surprise, this force was actually rejected by his bloodline. What's going on? Where did the problem occur? Feeling perplexed, he thought for a moment, then tried to fuse it with another bloodline. This time it was the law-controlling class Black Scale Demon bloodline. This time there were no accidents, and the power smoothly merged with the Black Scale Demon bloodline. As he breathed, Su Nan distinctly felt his bloodline power growing. The power from secret power type demons can only blend with secret power bloodlines. Su Nan realized suddenly. Looking again at the changes in his bloodline, he was startled to find that on the personal information panel, the Black Scale Demon bloodline, which was not yet started, had now reached perfection. This is perfection already. Su Nan could hardly hide his shock. To enter king level, moving from not yet started to beginner required 16 points of demon power. From beginner to minor achievement took 32 points of demon power, minor achievement to great accomplishment demanded 64 points of demon power, great accomplishment to perfection needed 128 points of demon power, and perfection to great perfection required another 80 points of demon power. In total, 320 points of demon power. The power from a single emperor level demon saved him 240 points of demon power. Su Nan's breathing became rapid. If things continued like this, his pace of breakthrough at the king level might be faster than any previous realm. But then, remembering that he had devoured a demonic emperor, he came to terms with it. I'm only at king level myself, and there's a huge gap between us. Devouring the opponent entirely allowed just one of my bloodlines to reach completion. By this count, the conversion efficiency of God and Demon Sky Devour is not only low, it's actually quite low. If it were a king-level demonic beast, whether it could even get my bloodline to great accomplishment is dubious. Su Nan shook his head, unable to deny that the talent conversion efficiency was truly moving. However, he didn't dare to underestimate this ability, on the contrary, he found it increasingly against the heavens. Being able to devour the strength of others to enhance one's own bloodline, what does that mean? It meant that he wouldn't need to expend any more demon power to enhance his bloodline. This ability is quite terrifying. If an ordinary player were to obtain it, it would be like having a cheat code, capable of soaring to the heavens even without any other opportunities. Most importantly, as long as there are enough demons and demon beasts for me to devour, my strength can increase indefinitely. Daily tasks provide demon power, which for players is the primary means to rapidly grow stronger. But it also acts as a constraint. With only 3 tasks each day, the growth of players is greatly restricted. Take Su Nan himself for instance. Though his universe in the sleeve contains many demons, he cannot convert them into demon power. He must wait for slaying demons task to refresh and then kill them to gain demon power. Now, if he doesn't care about acquiring demon power, he could just devour all the demons using God and Demon Sky Devour. Last time during the invasion of reality, out of the 11 demonic emperors, besides the few that he had slain to complete tasks over these days, there were 7 or 8 left. If he devoured all of them, at the very least he could have 4 or 5 types of bloodlines achieve great perfection. Thinking this, Su Nan's breaths quickened, and he could hardly wait to start. But in the end, he restrained the desire in his heart. Devouring ordinary king-level demons would be justifiable, but emperor-level demons were scarce and better left for completing tasks. Demon power is the most effective means to enhance ancient scriptures, and he couldn't abandon that as well. It's a pity that the power of these demonic emperors cannot be used to enhance ancient scriptures. Even without trying, he knew that the power gained from devouring demons could not enhance ancient scriptures, as both were entirely different forces. Perhaps it is not that it cannot be done, but because the power I have devoured from the demons cultivated was primarily bloodline power, enabling me to improve my own bloodline power. If they had cultivated ancient scriptures, maybe I could have used their devoured power to enhance my own ancient scriptures. Having successfully merged innate demon chi while idly passing the time, Su Nan looked again at the sky and quit the game again. Midnight reigned in the game. He could not cultivate the Great Sun Golden Body scripture there, but only in reality. Meanwhile, in the game, his avatar continued its journey towards Panyan Valley. Chapter 413. Hope of breaking through to Saint level. Panyan Valley, this is one of the three major human influences in Tianjua province, under the domain of Lingzhen Palace. This is a massive basin, rumored to be where a star had once fallen, burning with celestial fire for 3 days and nights. Until yesterday, this place was a small town composed of over 1,000 people, now it has turned into a demon realm. Under the gloomy night sky and moonlight, hundreds of players arrived at the entrance of the valley. Aside from a few leading the group, the rest were uniformly at the peak of the spirit level. By now, the late-stage spirit level and spirit level peak had become common as muck, and many had even amassed enough demon power for a breakthrough to the Xian rank. If not for the high probability of losing control during the breakthrough, they would have advanced much earlier. And the people here now, had been selected from amongst the many at the spirit level peak, and although their strength was not on par with the Xian level, they each had their own unique aspects, possessing the ability to surpass typical spirit level peak strength. Furthermore, a careful observation would reveal that among the people present, not a single one was from the physique series of players, only ones from the law-controlling class and secret power system. Looking toward the faintly visible strands of black mist within the valley, everyone was both curious and somber. Is that demonic chi? For many, this was their first encounter with demonic chi, and recalling the bizarre accounts of demonic chi on the forum, many were on high alert. This is just a Xian level demon beast, with our strength, it should be at most 3 stars, but the game rated the task as 5-star, could there be some problem? Someone voiced their concern. Another person replied, don't worry, tasks related to demon beasts naturally exceed the norm, so 5-star is quite normal. 60 points of demon power. This single task is worth a full 60 points of demon power. Under normal circumstances, we might not even get this much demon power in 2 or 3 days. Looking at the task on their panel, everyone's breath was short with anticipation. This time, they were not given individual tasks, but a collective one, with the objective of working together to kill the demon beast. This time the Angel Alliance's 5 war gods are all mobilized. We won't just be dealing with Xian level, even a king level coming at us would be captured without a fight. The group looked toward the 5 individuals at the forefront of the team. Comprising 3 men and 2 women, all 5 were Xian level, they were none other than the strongest players of the Angel Alliance. Indeed, all 5 war gods have fused with an ancient demon bloodline and have cultivated ancient scriptures, their strength far surpasses that of ordinary Xian level. Moreover, it's said that they possess an ancient treasure with immense power, so even if the demon beast's strength far exceeds that of martial artists of the same rank, the 5 war gods' strength should be more than enough. Many were brimming with confidence. In the distance, many players who had come to watch the spectacle also arrived, standing on the outskirts of the valley, gazing inside. Disguised as an ordinary player amid the crowd, Su Nan awaited the show to begin. With the arrival of the crowd, suddenly, a strange laugh echoed from within the valley. The demonic chi in the valley churned, and a middle-aged figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Everyone, be careful! The 5 leaders were startled and prepared to act. Are you lot the cannon fodder sent by Shangxiu Gate to capture me? The middle-aged demon scanned the players, and once he realized that the highest realm among them was no more than the Xian rank, he sneered again. Shangxiu Gate really underestimates me, sending a bunch of ants to their deaths. The 5 leading players of the Angel Alliance looked at each other and suddenly announced, attack! Knowing the trickiness of the demon beast, they didn't dare to engage with it for long, all intending to fight a quick and decisive battle. Hundreds of players, having already rehearsed, heard the command and quickly moved in accordance with the plan, charging toward the demon beast. The middle-aged demon beast's mouth curled into a mocking smile. With no superfluous movements, rolling demonic chi transformed into serpentine blasts shooting toward the people. The 5 leaders reacted swiftly. One of them used some secret technique to form an invisible barrier in front of everyone, which astonishingly blocked the demonic chi. These 5 are indeed out of the ordinary, Su Nan couldn't help but praise from the distant crowd upon seeing this scene. Demonic chi is not so easily resisted, the fact it was blocked is quite telling. It's a racial talent. That's great. God locks racial talent, said to be able to block even a king-level strike, a player exclaimed nearby. With the demonic chi resisted, the five reacted swiftly, suddenly charging toward the middle-aged figure, employing various techniques to attempt to take down the middle-aged as fast as possible. Meanwhile, the law-controlling class players continuously unleashed mana, as a plethora of spells rained down. Simultaneously, players from the secret power system channeled the power of essence energy within their bodies into the five, aiding in their power recovery. The group was well coordinated. With the five leading the charge and hundreds of players supporting them from behind, this was precisely why there were no Physique Series players. In such a scenario, Physique Series players would be unable to help, and instead, their proximity to the demon beast would allow the demonic chi to erode them. Facing such an onslaught, if the demon beast truly were of the Xian level, it might indeed have been bombed to oblivion. Unfortunately, it wasn't. However, the middle-aged figure did not showcase king-level strength, only calmly resisting and not even launching a stronger offensive. Clearly, he wanted to toy with the players, like a cat toying with a mouse. The five from the Angel Alliance were no fools and soon sensed something amiss. After engaging for a moment, they hadn't managed to take down the middle-aged, not to mention severely injure him. They grew wary, realizing something was wrong. They had already made their move, and stopping now was easier said than done, so they had to continue reluctantly. However, a moment later, by this time, the players had exhausted most of their strength, yet they still hadn't caused any harm to the middle-aged man. Even the ordinary players were becoming aware of the problem. The five exchanged glances without any hesitation and retreated together. Retreat! At a low shout, the players who were still attacking were startled, but they quickly realized what was happening and retreated explosively. You think you can come and go as you please? You're really underestimating me, the middle-aged man said with a gap-toothed smile, a cold light flashing in his eyes. The next moment, he made his move. Demonic chi transformed into a sweeping sword, and where it passed, many players had no power to resist and were killed on the spot. No good. Everyone run, this demon beast is not Xian level, it's king level. The leading five Xian level players paled, sensing the aura of the middle-aged man, and their hearts sank instantly. What? King level? The others caught on, instantly panicked. The previously well-trained team crumbled in an instant, becoming a mess, and the players watching from a distance fled in a sorry state. Many players who had completed a daily task made a split-second decision and immediately quit the game. But for those who hadn't completed their tasks, they had no choice but to run for their lives. Su Nan stood still, quietly watching the middle-aged man, which was extremely conspicuous amid the chaos of the valley at that time. Little guy, are you scared silly? Ha ha ha, don't worry, I won't kill you outright. I'll make you my puppet, just like them, the middle-aged demonic beast said with a smile to Su Nan. He, too, noticed Su Nan and smiled at him, baring his teeth. With a wave of his hand, the demonic chi shrouding the town in the valley dissipated, revealing figures standing in front of the town. Those were the original residents of the town, but now they were all expressionless. Undoubtedly, these people had been eroded by demonic chi, turned into puppets by the middle-aged man. Su Nan also smiled faintly, his expression unchanged. Aren't you afraid? Seeing Su Nan like this, the middle-aged man's brow furrowed, and he suddenly had a bad premonition. Su Nan said, why should I be afraid? Shouldn't you be the one who's afraid? Upon hearing this, the middle-aged man's heart sank. He looked at the players who were fleeing in all directions and then back at Su Nan, instantly considering a possibility. It seems you're the real person sent by Shangxiu Gate. Su Nan said, you're thinking too much. I'm not a person from Shangxiu Gate. Oh? You're not from Shangxiu Gate? Then are you from the Divine Heart Palace? Or from Zhuang Valley? Su Nan didn't answer, just shook his head slightly. None of them. I hate it when people beat around the bush with me. The middle-aged man became angry, no longer wasting words, and suddenly charged at Su Nan. To deal with a king class, Su Nan didn't need any superfluous actions. His hand swept out, power of heaven and earth converged, turning into a massive hand that formed a cage, gripping the middle-aged man tightly. You're emperor level. Overcome by a sense of imminent danger, the middle-aged man's face changed drastically. Without a second thought, he burst out with all his strength, breaking the hand that Su Nan had formed and turning to flee. But Su Nan had no intention of letting him get away. Under Su Nan's control, the middle-aged demonic beast was easily suppressed, as if he were a child. Afterward, Su Nan grabbed the middle-aged man and turned to leave directly. The farce came to an end, to everyone's surprise. Only after Su Nan had departed did the remaining players come to their senses, all of them dumbfounded. Nobody had expected that among all the ordinary players, a hidden expert lurked. More than 10 minutes later, Su Nan had brought the middle-aged demonic beast dozens of miles away. "Who exactly are you?" the middle-aged demonic beast asked in a mix of anger and fear, attempting to resist. "How many demon beasts like you, who transitioned from martial artists after birth, are there in Tianjua province?" Su Nan inquired. Originally, he had sought out this demonic beast to find emperor-level demonic beasts to cultivate the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. But from his previous foreknowledge, he had already learned where the emperor-level demonic beasts could be found, so there was no need to press the middle-aged man further. What he wanted to know now was where there were even more demonic beasts. "You want to find our demon god palace? I advise you to abandon this thought. Anyone who dares to covet our demon god palace is dead." The middle-aged man, as if recalling something, said coldly. "Demon God Palace?" Su Nan's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. He had originally thought that the influence of the Demon God Palace was only in East Chen, but unexpectedly, Tianjua province also had their presence. From this, it seemed that not only Dongchen State and Tianjua province, but the entire 12 states might have the existence of the Demon God Palace. "Since you are a member of the Demon God Palace, that's even better." Su Nan gave a faint smile. He did not continue to question the middle-aged man but directly invaded his divine soul with a powerful force. He was forcibly extracting the memories of the middle-aged demonic beast. "Ah! You should die!" Realizing what Su Nan was doing, the middle-aged man's face twisted in fury, trying to struggle. A moment later, Su Nan obtained a lot of information related to the Demon God Palace. Interesting, the Demon God Palace is actually helping martial artists become demonic beasts. Surprise flashed again in Su Nan's eyes. The middle-aged man was named Tan Wu, a former disciple of Shengxiu Gate. However, during the bloodline fusion process, his bloodline had clashed, and he nearly lost control. Afterwards, by a stroke of luck, he encountered the Demon God Palace and with their help, he became a demonic beast. In his memory, the Demon God Palace not only tried to release suppressed demonic beasts but was also constantly creating demonic beasts. In fact, all demonic beasts transformed from martial artists after the fact were members of the Demon God Palace. In Tianjua province alone, the members of the Demon God Palace had reached over 100. Bone Mountain. The headquarters of the Demon God Palace in Tianjua province is at Bone Mountain. Su Nan's eyes shimmered slightly, and he had an idea. Looking back at Tan Wu, worthy of being a demonic beast, he had a strong divine soul. Even after forcibly extracting memories, he was only slightly uncomfortable. Recovering, Tan Wu glared at Su Nan with grinding teeth. "You're as good as dead. Offending our Demon God Palace, no matter who you are, you're as good as dead. Whether I will die or not, I do not know, but what I do know is that you definitely will die." Today there was no daily task refreshed for hunting demonic beasts, but that did not affect his decision to take action. Knowing the location of the Demon God Palace, capturing a few demonic beasts would be all too easy. The God and Demon Sky Devour technique was activated, and rolling demonic chi burrowed into Tan Wu's body. "Demon race? How is that possible? How are you also of the demon race?" Tan Wu's eyes were wide open, staring dead at Su Nan, filled with disbelief. Until his death, he couldn't understand why Su Nan, a demonic beast like himself, would turn against him. "Congratulations! You have devoured a king-class demonic beast using the God and Demon Sky Devour and gained 200 points of demon race luck. Like the chi luck contributed by the previously devoured demonic emperor, it was only 200 points, but this demonic beast was only king-class. This undoubtedly proved his previous conjecture, the efficiency of converting chi luck by devouring members of the demon race was indeed higher than that of devouring members of the demon clan. And that wasn't even the most important thing. The most critical point was that after devouring the middle-aged beast, he once again felt a surge of strength within him that could be used to advance the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. Su Nan could clearly feel the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra growing rapidly. If devouring demonic beasts can directly enhance the demon scripture, doesn't this mean that I can break through without devouring emperor-level demonic beasts, and still advance the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. Breaking through to the 5th level of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra required the devouring of 3 Emperor-level demonic beasts. This was a limitation of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, not something he could compensate for by devouring king-level beasts. Originally, no matter how many king-level beasts he devoured, unless he devoured Emperor-level beasts, there was no way the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra could improve. But now, the devouring of a single king-level beast had resulted in the advancement of his Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. He even felt that without devouring Emperor-level beasts, as long as he could get a few more king-level beasts, he could still make the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra break through. What did this mean? It meant that relying on the God and Demon Sky Devour, his Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra could ascend without limit. To break through to the 6th layer of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, one must devour 3 saint-level demonic beasts. Once I break through to the 5th layer, for a long time to come, I won't be able to advance the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra further, because there are no saint-level beasts for me to devour. But now, even without saint-level beasts, I still seem to have a chance to elevate the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra to the 6th level. Thoughts flashing rapidly, Sunan's breathing grew somewhat hurried. Perhaps one day, relying on the God and Demon Sky Devour, and the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, he truly could become a saint-level existence. Chapter 414. Spiritual Feedback. A fire burned Tan Wu's corpse to ash, and then Sunan looked at the line of causality between himself and Tan Wu. I wonder how many times a demon, devoured by the God and Demon Sky Devour, will need to revive in the demon abyss. A demon beast devoured by the Heavenly Demon Devouring Divine Technique will have its demonic abyss mark erased bit by bit, consuming 2 revival chances. The God and Demon Sky Devour technique, birthed from the Heavenly Demon Technique, is even more powerful. Without a doubt, the demons he kills using the God and Demon Sky Devour will consume more revival chances. Consuming 100 points of Chi luck, Tan Wu's causality line with him disappeared. Only gained a total of 200 points of Chi luck, and now I have to spend 100 points, Sunan shook his head. Now, he only has 300 points of demon race luck at his disposal. It can't be helped, demons are different from demon creatures, failing to utterly destroy them might lead to the exposure of his ability to devour demons. Having done all this, he turned and left. Without rushing to find the place where the Emperor-level demonic beast was suppressed, he chose to head straight to the Fishbone Mountain in the middle-aged man's memory. He planned to take down Fishbone Mountain first. After all, they are the nourishment for cultivating the Heavenly Demon Devouring Divine Technique, not to be wasted. 5 hours later. The sun was 3 rods high, a new day had begun in-game. Only 1.5 hours left until the game refresh. Kyangri Mountain Range, located on the border between the human of Tianjua Province and the Demon Clan, rarely visited by travelers. Standing atop a mountain, Sunan looked forward, barely making out a small hill that was not very tall but stretched for thousands of kilometers. The small hill lay across the landscape, indeed resembling a giant fish after its bones had ossified. In Tan Wu's memory, Fishbone Mountain is not your ordinary place. The reason why the Demon God Palace made this its headquarters is due to the fallen demon god beneath Fishbone Mountain. The undissipated demonic chi from the remains of that demon god over the years has transformed into a demon cave, filled with rich demonic chi, and even produces a demonic source pearl every 100 years, containing pure demonic chi, making it very suitable as a place for ordinary martial artists to transform into demons. At the same time, there is a teleportation formation under Fishbone Mountain that can transport one to Daija Province. Being a king class, Tan Wu's status in the Demon God Palace was not very high, but not low either. He knew quite a few secrets of the palace. Fishbone Mountain is guarded by quite a few demons, with over 10 king-class demonic beasts residing permanently, and there is even an early-stage emperor-level big demon. Gazing at Fishbone Mountain, he prepared himself for action. However, he wasn't in a hurry, as the game refresh was approaching. He planned to act only after the refresh. To increase the chances of refreshing more hunting demon tasks, he had deliberately switched his role to Lang 13. This process did not take long. An hour and a half later, reality reached midnight. In Dongchen State, Sunan's true body watched the combatants on the arena with a hint of fascination in his eyes. Today's selection was narrowing down from 10 to 5. With your strength, there should be no problem entering the top 5, the great princess said. Sunan smiled and said nothing. It's undeniable that this time, the demon clan of 10,000 Demon Ridge indeed had many geniuses. Besides the group including Long Yunhan and Long Yuanmu, many of the top 10 clan geniuses showed formidable power. Like the woman from the Luoguang Sparrow clan and whom Weun from the Illusion Fox clan encountered before. In such a scenario, even the great princess, who consumed a talent spirit fruit and awakened a stronger talent, barely made it into the top 10, while the second princess, the Green Wolf Demon King, ultimately stopped before the top 20. The task refresh happened, and Su Nan immediately looked at the tasks for today. As expected, Zhang Yang and Lang 13's roles both refreshed hunting demon tasks, though neither required the hunting of demons of a specific realm, just 4-star. At the same time, the roles of Wang Nan and Zhang Yang, as usual, refreshed tasks for hunting emperor-level and king-level demon creatures. It's time to act. Behind Tianjia province, the avatar moved. The moment he approached Fishbone Mountain, Su Nan immediately felt the sensation of being watched. A demonic beast had already detected him. Su Nan's expression remained unchanged as he continued forward. As if finally confirming his target was Fishbone Mountain, the hidden demons emerged. What's going on these days? Another little guy who doesn't know better has shown up at our doorstep. It was an old man, his eyes showing indifference as he looked at Su Nan. Upon hearing this, Su Nan's mind stirred, and he said, "Old man, from your words, it seems a lot of people have come here recently." The old man nodded, "That's right, including you, you're the 8th. You're probably one of those outsiders too, aren't you? For the sake of some task, you don't even care about your own life." Su Nan came to a realization, clearly, some players had triggered a task related to this place but didn't know the specifics. Coming here was tantamount to seeking death, and maybe they were already contaminated by the demonic qi, completely dead. "I am not like them," Su Nan said with a smile and shake of his head. "Oh? What makes you different?" the old man asked with interest. Su Nan said, "They only know about the demons here, but I know this is the headquarters of the Demon God Palace, with 10 king-level and 1 emperor-level demon residing here." Hearing this, the old man's face changed drastically as he realized the problem and backed away quickly, trying to create distance from Su Nan. Unfortunately, Su Nan didn't give him the chance. Deploying his universe in the sleeve, the old man, filled with shock, was easily collected into the universe in the sleeve. Feeling the old man's disappearance, the other hidden entities could no longer remain seated, and several figures appeared at once, firmly fixing their gaze on Su Nan, encircling him. "Where's old Wang? What have you done with old Wang, you brat?" Su Nan scanned the group, exactly 9 people, not more, not less, including that emperor-level existence. All the others of king level were here. Su Nan said, "Don't worry, I will send you to accompany him right now." Before his voice even fell, universe in the sleeve was displayed once more, and the few king level figures could not resist, being swept into the expanse of his sleeve. From the moment he made his move to the end, it took just the span of a breath and caused no significant commotion, the emperor level being clearly hadn't noticed any anomalies and did not show up. Su Nan continued towards the interior of Fishbone Mountain, and soon, a cave came into view before him. Standing at its entrance, he could already feel the distinct presence of demonic qi. The narrow cave entrance extended forward and after a short distance, it suddenly opened up, as if he had entered a subterranean grand hall. In the center of this space was a pool about 2 meters in diameter, with volatile demonic qi churning within. An old man was sitting with his back to Su Nan, meditating in the midst of the pool. Not far off, there was a simple and ancient teleportation array. Sensing someone's arrival, the old man made no move, apparently mistaking Su Nan for one of the 10 king-class demonic beasts. However, the old man quickly realized something was wrong and abruptly turned his head to look at Su Nan. "Who are you?" The old man's face changed dramatically and without any hesitation, he swiftly attacked Su Nan. The old man was just at the early stage of emperor level and not particularly powerful. Su Nan still easily waved his hand, utilizing universe in the sleeve. With this, the headquarters of the Demon God Palace in Tianjia province could be considered as having been swept clean by Su Nan. But this did not mean that the Demon God Palace in Tianjia province had been eradicated. With over 100 demonic beasts of the Demon God Palace, this was only a tenth of them. Since those demonic beasts were scattered all over, Su Nan did not have the time and energy to seek them out one by one. More than 10 minutes later, Su Nan arrived atop a small hill, ready to begin his task. Previously, whether it was using God and Demon Sky Devour to devour demonic emperors or demonic beasts, it was just a trial, without the intention of obtaining demon power points. Now it's different, I need to gain demon power points and also devour the opponent's strength. God and Demon Sky Devour was Wang Nan's ability, while hunting demonic beasts was the task for Zhang Yang and Lang 13, achieving both at once was somewhat difficult. Luckily, there was a way. Whether the target being devoured was killed by the strength of God and Demon Sky Devour or not did not affect the effects of God and Demon Sky Devour. As long as the erosion by demonic chi was completed while the target was alive, it counted as a success. The task settlement mechanism was also very simple, what mattered was the final blow. With that, it became easy. He released one demonic beast, then cast God and Demon Sky Devour. Vigorous demonic chi surged into its body, leaving the demonic beast in disbelief, not understanding why Su Nan, also a demonic being, would attack it. The demonic chi poured into its body, rapidly devouring everything it had. When the power of God and Demon Sky Devour had completed its task, Su Nan switched roles and slew the demonic beast. Congratulations, you have completed the daily task Hunt one demonic beast, 60 demon power points have been awarded. As the task completion alert popped up, he quickly switched back to Wang Nan and devoured the strength within the demonic beast's body. Congratulations, you used God and Demon Sky Devour to devour a king-class demonic beast, you have gained 200 points of demon race luck. He gained both demon power and luck without any loss. Next, he repeated the process, completing all the tasks he could for today. 2 demonic beasts, 2 demonic emperors, 1 demon king. 285 demon power points. The usable demon power points reached 1,340. At the same time, elsewhere, his true body also completed the elimination from 10 down to 5. Another 45 demon power points were credited, and the usable demon power reached 1,380. As for luck, there was a significant increase. 2 demonic beasts provided him with 400 points of luck, 2 demonic emperors with 400 points of luck, and 1 demon king only 100 points. A total of 900 points of luck. But, Su Nan had also spent 200 points of luck to apply the Art of Fate, meaning he effectively gained 700 points of luck this time, and the demon race's available luck just reached 1000 points. On the ranking list, Wang Nan's total luck had grown by a substantial 1,400 points, when added to the previous 1,100 points, it was now 2,500 points. He overtook Zhang Yang's first place in a single leap. It wasn't over yet, having devoured 2 demonic beasts, he could clearly sense that the Sky Demon devouring God Sutra was just a small step away from a breakthrough. Perhaps, he just needed to devour 2 more king-level demonic beasts to achieve that breakthrough. Beyond that, devouring 2 demonic emperors and 1 demon king had significantly enhanced his bloodline power. A demonic emperor is equivalent to 240 demon power points while a demon king is only equivalent to 40 points. With the demonic emperor he had previously devoured, Su Nan now had 3 characters whose bloodlines had reached great perfection. Both Lang 13's and Zhang Yang's bloodlines had achieved that state, and Wang Nan's bloodline had achieved great accomplishment. This God and Demon Sky Devour truly is an amazing cheat. Su Nan could not help but sigh. Even with preparation, feeling the changes in his body made his heart race. Completing tasks to gain demon power, while also enhancing bloodlines, improving the Demon Sutra, and acquiring chi luck, was truly killing several birds with one stone. If this could continue, he feared it wouldn't take long before the bloodlines of all 3 characters reached perfection and broke through to the Emperor level. Of course, this was predicated on having a steady stream of demons and demon beasts for him to devour. It seems I need to prioritize fusing bloodlines in the near future. After entering the king level, his original plan was to focus on the improvement of ancient scriptures, but the appearance of the God and Demon Sky Devour presented him with the opportunity to progress both ancient scriptures and bloodlines side by side. Thus, the advancement of his bloodline needed to continue. With his current strength, acquiring a king-level bloodline was too simple. Even an ancient fiend bloodline was not beyond his reach. From his previous invasion into reality, there were many king-level demonic beasts that used the celestial fortune of reality to regress their bloodlines. What he lacked now were the corresponding demon sutras. But this was not a big issue. Having made up his mind, he turned and left, heading towards the place his foreknowledge had revealed a formation that suppressed a demonic beast. Meanwhile, his true body quit the game. In reality, Su Nan picked up his phone and logged into the forum once again. What's going on? How did deity Wang Nan's fortune increase by so much? As soon as he entered the forum, the first thing to catch his eye was a post about him. Sunan wasn't surprised, it was only natural for such a significant increase in his fortune to draw attention. Without even looking, he knew there would be plenty of speculation that he had obtained an inheritance or had slain a powerful being. Ignoring the topic, he continued scrolling down. Soon, a topic related to Tianjia province caught his eye. What's going on in Tianjia province? Why are so many people gaining fortune? 10 people. From yesterday till now, there have been fully 10 people who each gained 300 points of fortune. It's an inheritance. A massive amount of inheritances have appeared in Tianjia province, and the allocation of these inheritances seems to depend entirely on luck. It's said that some people just walking along the road have inexplicably received an inheritance. That's right, I've also obtained an inheritance. Together with this inheritance, there's also a mainline task, and now all the inheritances people are getting are just the appetizers of some bigger legacy. Someone had posted about the Gi Sex inheritance task. When everyone saw there were 100 spots, Tianjia province's players went mad. They all rushed into the game, trying their luck. 300 points of fortune and an ancient scripture inheritance, even top players would be driven wild by such an opportunity, and no one wanted to miss out. Players from other provinces were envious, wishing they could go to Tianjia province and get a piece of the action. Another 10 spots have appeared. It seems that it won't be long before the full 100 spots are out there. He continued browsing the forum. After a while, not finding any useful information, he finally exited the forum and fell into a deep sleep. A sense of heaviness, oppression, and suffocation inexplicably swept over him. Suddenly, Sunan woke up from a deep sleep. What's happening? He looked pale, as this kind of odd sensation was a first for him. In a daze, he thought it was an illusion, but he was sure that what he felt just now was not an illusion. After some thought, he considered a possibility. Was this a sudden whim? Is something big about to happen? He couldn't help thinking of the heavenly race. In reality, it seemed only the heavenly race could pose a threat to him. Although he had foreknowledge of the events in the game for the next 4 days, such foreknowledge did not extend to reality. Moreover, his previous foresight in reality hadn't covered this period, meaning he was unaware of what would happen next. Prepared and alert. At his level, such whims were not without reason. It could only be the feedback from his own spirituality, the feedback from fluctuations in fate. The panel appeared before his eyes. He hadn't used today's foreknowledge times yet, and without hesitation, Sunan immediately began to foretell. Chapter 415. Exposed Tactics. An inexplicable feeling made Sunan's heart tremble. He had never experienced such a sensation before. Not daring to take any chances, he immediately started his foreknowledge. With 2 bloodlines at great perfection, his foreknowledge times had increased by 6, reaching 117 times. As foreknowledge began, in an instant, 60 times of foreknowledge were consumed on the panel. 3 days, this time he could foresee up to 3 days later. Sunan was not panicked, but instead he breathed a sigh of relief. In 3 days, in-game, I will enter the Demon Clan ancestral land. Given its dangers, unless something unexpected happens, I will probably still die there. In-game issues are trivial, as long as no problems arise in reality, it's not a serious issue. His gaze quickly swept across the flickering text on the panel. However, when he reached the end, his face involuntarily darkened. You are awakened by a sudden palpitation, not understanding why this happens, only guessing it may be related to the heavenly race. You realize that some major changes may occur in reality in the coming days. You dare not be careless, preparing to improve your strength as much as possible. An hour later, you enter another world. The first half of the foreknowledge isn't worth mentioning. Foreknowing in reality does not predict events in the game, and at most, it would inform him of the general events after he quits the game. And in this first half of the foreknowledge, there were no abnormalities in reality. Sunan quickly scanned through, eventually focusing his attention on the foreknowledge of 2 days later. A day and a half later, you return to reality, your far soul will enters the 4th layer, and you also integrate a secret power blood, further advancing your strength. 2 days later, you suddenly feel that inexplicable shudder again, stronger and clearer than last time, and the far soul wheel inside you is frantically spinning. You immediately pay careful attention to the source of your palpitations and eventually discover a huge causality line on yourself. At the sight of that causality line, you suddenly see an illusory scythe appearing in the void. That scythe, as if crossing endless spaces, slowly comes from beyond the heavens. Observing carefully, you find that the scythe is not falling fast, as if invisible forces are holding it back. The scythe has to break through layer upon layer of obstacles to fall. At the same time, you notice that as the scythe continues to descend, mottled rust spots gradually appear on its surface, the palpitations becoming stronger, and the far soul wheel within you turns even more rapidly. Although you do not understand what the scythe is, you know that you have been targeted by it, and it is coming for you. Sensing the crisis, knowing that the scythe is slashing towards you, without any means to counter, you can only try to have your true body enter another world. 2.5 days later, you return from another world, finding that entering another world can temporarily evade the scythe, but as soon as you return to the real world, the scythe continues to descend. You realize that mere evasion cannot solve the problem. You attempt to withstand the scythe, to stop its descent, but despite various methods employed, the scythe continues to fall. 3 days later, the scythe has already reached the void 100 meters away from you. You use the across the heavens shift to dodge, only to find that no matter where you flee, the scythe remains above your head, calmly descending towards you. As the scythe keeps falling, the far soul wheel spins even faster, and you understand that this scythe is some sort of treasure that strikes from the layer of fate itself. Unable to avoid the scythe, you are forced to enter another world once more. You died. The foreknowledge ends. This time, he died in the game. Just like before, because he cannot predict events in the game, he doesn't even know how he died in the end. A treasure capable of striking from the layer of fate, there's no escaping it, it must be the heavenly race again. The heavenly race seems to never tire of pursuing me. Sunan's face turned grim. In game, there is the Destiny Society, and in reality, the heavenly race exists. Clearly, they will not rest until they see him dead. The scythe's delay is very likely due to the influence of my far soul wheel. But even when the far soul wheel reaches the 4th layer, it's not enough to withstand it, and increasing the far soul wheel's level in a short time is simply not possible. His eyes quickly swept over the information of foreknowledge, countless methods flashing through his mind at lightning speed. The power of fate is too enigmatic. His far soul wheel, though powerful with many uses, cannot stand against such a powerful enemy. Every time the heavenly race makes a move, the force is beyond the far soul wheel's limits of defense, rendering it significantly less effective. At least this time they were smart enough to not make a direct move. Last time it was the 8-winged celestial clan themselves who took action, a pity that afterwards, he lured a fated calamity with the art of fate, causing backlash from heaven and earth, ultimately leading to their downfall. Clearly aware of his prowess, this time those of the heavenly race became wary, not daring to strike from across time and space, nor daring to act in person, instead opting to use a treasure. As long as they are not striking across time and space, I still have a chance, Sunan sneered, not overly fearful. His far soul wheel may not withstand the sword's attack, but the art of fate of the far soul wheel is not to be underestimated. If defense is not an option, then offense is chosen. The best defense is a good offense. Instead of waiting to be slain by the sword, better to strike first and deal with the sword's master. As his thoughts churned, his gaze swept over the numerous causality lines on his body. Regrettably, the heavenly clan expert has apparently not made a move yet. There is no causality line with them on his body. There's no rush, as the cause and effect line will appear sooner or later. What he needs now is chi luck. Last time I was able to bring down that member of the 8-winged celestial clan with only 1000 points of chi luck because the main reason might be that the celestial was acting across time and space. Under normal circumstances, to deal with an 8-winged celestial on par with a saint level expert, 1000 points of chi luck would definitely not be enough. Chi luck. I need a large amount of chi luck. Obtaining chi luck is not simple, but during the luck child task period, slaying those with more chi luck than himself would garner him chi luck. Moreover, now that he possesses the god and demon Sky Devour, he has one more channel to obtain chi luck. He is not worried about not being able to obtain chi luck. However, being able to obtain chi luck and the amount of chi luck one can gain are two different concepts. Those who could take action against him were, with high probability, just like the 8-winged celestial from last time, saint levels. The amount of chi luck needed to deal with a saint level is unimaginable. It seems that those demon beasts can't be kept any longer. They must be converted into chi luck as soon as possible. He had captured 11 demon beasts from Bone Mountain, and now 2 of them had been slain by him. He originally planned to keep the remaining demon beasts, like those demonic emperors, and capture 2 each day for tasks. Now the celestial race has acted once more, disrupting his plans. He can't wait any longer. No one can guarantee that once the scythe descends, he will still have time to act. Having made up his mind, Sunan entered the game again. Chaos is boundless, with neither light nor dark, time and space are somewhat blurred here. No one knows that within this chaos, in an unknown place, there is a land full of light, a massive landmass floating quietly. The size of this land is unknown, seeming like a purposeless behemoth within the boundless chaos, drifting with the current. But if one distances themselves and observes carefully, they will find that not too far from this continent, there is another place of light. At this moment, the massive continent is like a powerful cruiser, speeding towards that place of light. Unlike the demon world, although the vitality of heaven and earth of this land is not rich, it has never ceased. There are many emperor-level powerhouses, and even more than one or two saint-level experts. In the center of this land, there is a high platform tens of thousands of meters high. This high platform is like a lighthouse, guiding the direction of this giant vessel. At this time, at the very top of this high platform, an old man with silvery white hair is gazing into the endless dusk, his expression changing. His eyes are profound, as if they were piercing through billions of spaces. Faintly, intertwined rivers emerge in the depths of his eyes. Behind this old man, surprisingly, are 4 pairs of pristine white wings. Great Priest, the 6 ancestors are ready and can use that item at any time, a woman with 3 pairs of wings on her back said to the old man. The old man, referred to as the Great Priest, nodded slowly and said solemnly, "Last time, Xiao Bie was careless, thinking that the barriers of time and space would allow him freedom from restrictions. He didn't expect to be caught by that little guy, who unexpectedly obtained a treasure that could fish for fate. He triggered a fate tribulation through causality and fell. We can't be as rash as Xiao Bie this time, we must ensure there is not a single failure." The old man's gaze flickered. His eyes seemed to penetrate the void, seeing a surging river. Only very few people knew that it was the Destiny River. If Sunan were here, hearing the two's conversation, his jaw would surely drop. The old man was able to see through his methods, not only knowing about his fishing rod of fate but also knowing he could trigger the art of fate using causality. This situation, being completely known by an enemy, was terrifying. Suddenly, the Great Priest noticed something, frowning and saying, "Strange, what ability did that little guy actually gain for his destiny to be so changeable? Destiny is changeable." Hearing this, the woman also looked puzzled. Destiny is fickle, no one's destiny remains unchanged. Long-term destiny changes significantly and is unpredictable, but short-term destiny changes are nearly fixed and can be foreseen. The Great Priest furrowed his brows and pondered. After a long time, it seemed he thought of a possibility and said, "It seems that little guy has mastered an ability similar to some kind of foreknowledge, capable of sensing future dangers. No wonder that generation wanted to use the power of curses and failed. It is likely that the little guy had already sensed the crisis while they were preparing," the old man said lightly. In the old man's words, that generation clearly referred to the people of the Destiny Society. This was truly terrifying, for you must understand that although the actions of those from the Destiny Society in the demon world were halted, Sunan himself did not personally intervene. The old man was far away, yet it seemed as if he knew everything, which was inconceivable. On one side, the woman exclaimed in surprise, "Foreknowledge of blessings and calamities? Can that person utilize causality and even foresee blessings and calamities? If that's the case, doesn't it mean he also knows when we make our move against him? What if he knows, he cannot defend against it?" the high priest replied indifferently. After a pause, the high priest added, "Not only that, but that little guy also seems to have cultivated a very interesting ancient scripture. That ancient scripture does seem to have some abilities similar to the forbidden ancient scripture from the desolate ancient era." Forbidden ancient scripture. Suddenly, the woman thought of something and couldn't help but widen her eyes. Could it be that scripture known as the life wheel scripture that is said to have stolen the origin power of our heavenly race? The high priest nodded, opting not to elaborate. The woman thought of something else and couldn't restrain herself from saying, "If it is that ancient scripture, it could also explain why that person can use causality to execute techniques." The two whispered among themselves, if Sunan knew about this, he would probably be even more anxious. For such a long time, it was the first time someone had seen through his cultivation of the life wheel scripture, and judging by the high priest's attitude, it was evident that he knew quite a lot about the life wheel scripture. In the game. At this moment, the day was coming to an end, with the sun setting beyond the mountains. After several hours of travel, the avatar had arrived at the suppression site of that emperor-level demonic beast. After searching for half an hour, he finally found the formation suppressing the demonic beast. Similar to the many formations Su Nan had encountered before, this formation was also in ruins, and even without Su Nan's intervention, it wouldn't have taken much longer to become completely ineffective. Su Nan made a move, easily shattering the formation. How many years has it been? This old body is finally free. The demonic chi surged, and with peals of laughter, an old crone appeared before Su Nan's eyes. After a moment of excitement, the old crone gradually calmed down and looked at Su Nan. "Young man, you did good, do you want a reward?" At this moment, Su Nan was appearing as a demonic creature. In the old woman's eyes, Su Nan was her junior. Su Nan smiled faintly and said, "Since the old lady has offered, I won't be polite. It just so happens, I've cultivated a demon scripture and am missing some cultivation resources to break through to emperor level. I wonder if the old lady could spare some love." The old crone became interested. "Oh? Which demon scripture are you cultivating?" Su Nan replied, "The Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra." The old crone reflexively said, "So it's the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, I remember that demon scripture." Before she could finish, the old crone suddenly realized something, her voice stopped, her expression changed, and she said solemnly, "What did you say you are cultivating?" Su Nan smiled faintly and repeated, "The Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra." The old crone's face turned completely sullen as she coldly said, "You dare to cultivate the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra? Boy, are you tired of living?" Su Nan said, seeing this reaction from the old lady, "Does it mean you disagree with contributing to my breakthrough to emperor level?" Since the old lady is willing, then I can only take action myself. Hearing this, the old crone understood all too well that Su Nan's mention of cultivation resources referred to her. In an instant, the old crone flew into a rage and aimed a palm strike at Su Nan, intent on blasting him to oblivion. Su Nan, as always, deployed the universe in the sleeve technique and directly collected her into his universe in the sleeve. He did not immediately devour the old woman. According to the foreknowledge, he was supposed to achieve a breakthrough in the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra after devouring this old crone. But now, his Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra was already close to breakthrough, and there was no need to use this emperor-level demonic beast to advance. He released 2 king-class demonic beasts from his Cultivate Kyunkan space and executed the God and Demon Sky Devour technique, devouring them. As the power from the 2 sources flooded in, the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra revolved rapidly, and a powerful presence erupted from Su Nan's avatar. The Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra had made its breakthrough. Chapter 416. Identity Exposed. Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra has broken through, entering the 5th level. It was at this instant that the power of heaven and earth swept in, causing the winds and clouds to change color. For a demon beast that only cultivates the demon scripture, this level is already emperor level, which means that Su Nan's avatar has officially entered the emperor level. However, breaking through to emperor level requires recognition from heaven and earth. Normally, whether it is a martial artist or a demon breaking through, they need to first receive the approval of the power of heaven and earth to do so. It is the same whether one is cultivating bloodline or ancient scriptures. But Su Nan's Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, or to say, God and Demon Sky Devour, allowed him to bypass this step and advance to emperor level without the approval of heaven and earth. Yet, this made heaven and earth seem to have discovered a stowaway. The power of heaven and earth converged and turned into a surging thunderstorm. It was somewhat similar to the situation after he used Apocalypse heavenly thunder. The consequence of not receiving the approval of heaven and earth is naturally to be obliterated by it. Clearly, at this moment, in the eyes of heaven and earth, Su Nan was an unauthorized stowaway who had forcibly made his breakthrough. Instantly, Su Nan felt himself being locked on, a horrifying aura threatening to crush him. Looking up at the dark clouds formed by the power of heaven and earth, his expression was unchanged, without worry. He is a demon beast now, not a martial artist nor a demon, an existence born from the gathering of evil energy between heaven and earth. He need not abide by the rules of breakthroughs in this realm. The prior foreknowledge of a successful breakthrough also proved this point. Indeed, before the apocalypse like thunder could fall, from the depths of the demon abyss, surging demonic chi came forth. With the influx of that demonic chi into the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, Su Nan was enveloped by the demonic chi. At this moment, he could clearly feel the connection between himself and the demon abyss strengthen once again, and at the same time, the demonic chi seemed to sever the connection between him and heaven and earth. Instantly, as if having lost its target, the thunder that the power of heaven and earth had gathered receded, and he completely achieved his breakthrough. Without the need for recognition from the power of heaven and earth, and without devouring 3 emperor-level demonic beasts, he accomplished the breakthrough just like that, relying on the god and demon sky devour. If others knew about this, they would be astounded to the point of disbelieving. Is this the strength of emperor level? Closely feeling the changes within his body, Su Nan was pleasantly surprised. At this moment he had a feeling that even without using any of the true body's strength, and even without employing Wang Nan's bloodline power, he could kill an early-stage emperor-level demon. This sensation was no illusion. He indeed could do it. If he were to include the bloodline power that belongs to Wang Nan, his avatar could even overpower his true body right now. If he invoked all of his strength, slaying a middle-stage emperor grade would not be an issue. Beyond this, entering the 5th level, the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra also granted him an additional ability. Demon devours the world. A sharp light flashed in Su Nan's eyes. This too is a type of devouring ability. However, unlike God and Demon Sky Devour that can devour everything from another being, which is a talent born from his fusion with innate demon chi, Demon Devours the World is only an ability of the 5th level of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra and naturally not as exaggerated, but it also has its unique features. Demon Devours the World can devour the strength of others' attacks that land on him. As long as it's not strength exceeding his realm, he can devour it. Even if the strength surpasses his realm, he can still devour some of it. What does this mean? It means that merely with this ability, all other beings at the early stage of Emperor level would practically be unable to harm this avatar of his in the future. All the strength that hits this avatar would be devoured by Demon Devours the World. Another devouring ability. It seems like I am being crafted into a devouring demon god. A smile appeared on Su Nan's lips. With this ability, his defensive strength soared dramatically, making it even more difficult for anyone to harm him in the future. To progress from the 5th to the 6th level in Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, I need to devour 3 saint-level demon beasts. With the current situation, for a very long period into the future, it will not be possible, there just aren't any saint-level demon beasts for me to devour. Fortunately, there are plenty of emperor-level demonic beasts. Utilizing Universe in the sleeve, he released the old woman he had captured earlier. He intended to test and see how much enhancement devouring 1 emperor-level demonic beast could bring to his current Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. Freed from her binds, the old woman, just like any other demon and demon beast, violently erupted with the intent to deliver a lethal blow to Su Nan. And how could Su Nan be unprepared? This time he didn't employ the power of his true body. He wanted to see just how strong the 5th level of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra really was in actual combat. Without dodging, the old woman's strength landed on him, the ability of Demon Devours the World was passively triggered, her strength directly turned into pure demonic chi and was devoured. Seeing her attack having no effect, the old woman was startled at first, then seemed to realize something, her complexion becoming extremely unsightly in an instant. You've broken through? This is the power of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. The old woman clearly knew quite a bit about the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, aware of some of its abilities. However, the more she knew, the darker her expression became. She was well aware that to break through the 5th level of Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, one needs to devour 3 emperor-level demonic beasts. This condition is very stringent for ordinary demon beasts. Without the help of emperor-level demonic beasts, it's nearly impossible to achieve. But now that Su Nan has broken through, it means he possessed enough strength to kill her even when he was at king level. With Su Nan's breakthrough, she was even less of a match for him. Well, the young ones these days really have no idea of death. You've cultivated to emperor level, surely having devoured plenty of demon beasts. Your deeds are probably already known by the other demonic beasts in the demon abyss. The demon abyss has not yet descended, no one can do anything to you now, but when the demon abyss comes, I will make sure I see for myself your mark being erased within it, said the old woman. Even knowing that today she couldn't escape her fate, the old woman didn't beg for mercy. Instead, she looked at Su Nan with scorn, as if she had already seen him being bombarded and killed by numerous demonic beasts in succession. This was normal, demonic beasts never begged for mercy, after all, they could resurrect, and dying once or twice didn't mean much to them. But the old woman would die without knowing that being killed by Su Nan meant there was no chance of revival. The demon abyss is coming. Su Nan was startled, this was the first time he had heard this. But now was not the time to ask about this. He said to the old woman, "Don't worry, you won't see that day." Without wasting any more words, he launched an attack, initiating the fight. A moment later, the old woman was gravely wounded and lost the ability to resist. Grabbing the old woman, Su Nan applied the God and Demon Sky Devour technique, and the swirling demonic chi, like little snakes, desperately burrowed into the old woman's body, rapidly eroding every corner of her body. No. This is wrong. This isn't the power of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. This is talent, this is the innate talent that only predestined demon gods possess. The old woman was obviously not an ordinary demon beast, with extraordinary insight, as she recognized that Su Nan was using talent, not the ability of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. But then, the old woman thought of something else and her expression changed dramatically. "You are that individual from yesterday who became a predestined demonic beast. I can't believe that lucky individual was you. How do you know someone became a predestined demonic beast yesterday?" Hearing this, it was Su Nan's turn to be shaken. The fact that he had become a predestined demonic beast should, in theory, only be known to him, and now the old woman had spoken of the event that happened yesterday, which seemed incredible to Su Nan. The old woman did not answer Su Nan's question, instead she said enviously, "Being able to acquire innate demon chi, I must say you are very lucky, but it's a pity that it's not something you can control. You are doomed, even if the demon abyss hasn't descended, those demon gods won't let you go, and they will come for you soon. Just wait, your death will be miserable." The old woman laughed, her expression full of schadenfreude. Su Nan looked unwell. If the old woman hadn't been emperor level with strong divine soul, he would have found it difficult to forcibly read her memory, otherwise, he would definitely have tried to take it by force to see how she knew he had become a predestined demonic beast. The news of him becoming a predestined demon god had apparently leaked out, and now even the old woman, suppressed within the formation, knew about it. It was conceivable that quite a few demonic beasts were now aware of the emergence of a predestined demon god, they just didn't know who it was. Moreover, from what the old woman implied, there were even terrifying existences of demon gods in the demon abyss who also wanted to obtain the innate demon chi. This is troublesome. In an instant, Su Nan realized the gravity of the situation. Saint level was beyond his ability to confront, not to mention god level, what means such existences had at their disposal, no one knew. If there really were demon gods who wanted his innate demon chi, then he was indeed in danger. His mind raced, swiftly pondering a solution. After a brief thought, he remembered his art of fate, and he let out a slight sigh of relief. With the art of fate, it seems there isn't much to be afraid of. Now, not only do people not know that I've become a predestined demonic beast, but all those who knew I was cultivating the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra are completely dead. As long as the secrecy was maintained, no one could find out that he had become a predestined demonic beast. Of course, he couldn't be careless. If those powerful demonic beasts possessed some unknown methods to track him down, that would be troublesome. Unable to get useful information from the old woman, Su Nan no longer hesitated and ended her life directly. Congratulations, for using God and Demon Sky Devour to devour an Emperor-level demon, you have gained 500 points of Demon Race Luck. 500 points of Demon Race Luck, that's 300 points more than a King-class demonic beast. It's just a pity that after hunting down 2 King-class demonic beasts just now, his total chi luck had reached 2,900 points, surpassing that of the old woman. Even if he killed the old woman as the role of Wang Nan, the task of Luck Child did not grant him any chi luck. Moreover, because both demon hunting tasks for today had already been completed, the old woman's death did not contribute any additional demon power to him. However, rescuing her from the formation earlier still netted him 60 points of demon power, bringing his usable demon power to exactly 1,400 points. He was only 100 points away from enhancing the life wheel scripture. An Emperor-level demon beast, 500 points of chi luck isn't bad. With these 500 points added, Wang Nan's total chi luck broke through the 3,000 mark, reaching 3,400 points. And because he had just spent 200 points of available fortune to execute the Art of Fate Tribulation in hunting down 2 demon beasts, he still had 1,700 points left. Of course, out of this 1,700 points of fortune, he still had to deduct 100 points to execute the Art of Fate Tribulation again, to thoroughly resolve the potential threat of the old woman who knew his identity. Without time to think further, 100 points of chi luck were spent, and ensuring the cause and effect line on his body disappeared, he finally breathed a sigh of relief. He continued to observe the changes to the sky demon devouring God Sutra. Having devoured an emperor-level demon beast, the recently enhanced sky demon devouring God Sutra once again expanded. A moment later, sensing the changes to the sky demon devouring God Sutra, Su Nan's eyes shone with golden light. 1/30. The progress of the sky demon devouring God Sutra has increased by approximately 1/30. Originally, it required the devouring of 3 saint-level demon beasts to advance further. Now, only 29 more emperor-level demon beasts are needed. This means that devouring 10 emperor-level demon beasts would equate to the effect of 1 saint-level beast. Surprised and delighted, Su Nan. 3 saint-level demon beasts were hard to come by, and even if found, killing them would not be feasible, but finding 30 emperor-level demon beasts was not impossible. If Dongchen state did not have them, he could search in other states. Out of the 12 states, he refused to believe he couldn't find 30 emperor-level beasts. The efficiency of the God and Demon Sky Devour transformation doesn't seem as low as I had thought. Su Nan didn't know how much of a gap there was between Emperor and Saint level. If the difference between King and Emperor level was anything to go by, not even 20 Emperor level demon beasts could match one at the Saint level. But now, 10 Emperor level beasts could bring about the effect of 1 Saint level beast, which was a very cost-effective trade. And all of this was thanks to the talent of the God and Demon Sky Devour. The devouring efficiency of the God and Demon Sky Devour was even higher than that of the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. The Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra absorbed the divine soul of the demon beasts, while the God and Demon Sky Devour consumed everything about the demon beasts. The two were incomparable. It looks like I'll be busy for a while. The task of nurturing the Jianmu must be pushed back further. An avatar of a saint-level demonic beast was too tempting for Su Nan. He immediately decided that his focus for the near future would be on finding Emperor-level demon beasts. To hunt down 30 Emperor-level beasts was clearly impossible for his true body alone, only by having both his avatar and true body act together could it be possible. He resolved that after this trip to Tianjia province was over, he would send his avatar to other states, to those places where the demon catastrophe had erupted. After turning the old woman's remaining body to ashes with a burst of fire, Su Nan let Luo Yu out. Do you know what's going on with the descent of the demon abyss? Su Nan took the words of the old woman very seriously and had to find out what was happening. Luo Yu clearly understood this issue and said without hesitation, the demon abyss exists within chaos, far from this world, and that is why it is so difficult for us demon beasts to leave the demon abyss and enter this world. However, the demon abyss is not stationary, it moves on a certain trajectory. This movement is very slow, but every 10,000 years or so, it aligns with this world once, when the distance between the two becomes very close. At that time, it would be very easy for the demon beasts in the demon abyss to leave and enter this world without any constraints. This period is known as the descent of the demon abyss. Having said this, Luo Yu paused then added, the last descent of the demon abyss was 10,000 years ago. If the last descent of the demon abyss was 10,000 years ago, doesn't that mean the time for the next descent is fast approaching? Su Nan frowned and said in a grave tone. Luo Yu nodded, it should be very soon. With the heavenly and earthly vitality of this world now reviving, it may even accelerate this process. Chapter 417, Resentment of the Ancient Wilderness Sect Master. The demon abyss descends, and the demon beasts within will have the opportunity to enter the demon world, which is undoubtedly a catastrophe for the demon world. Su Nan's expression was solemn. He thought that with the trapped demon beasts freeing themselves, the demon crisis had already begun. Now it seems, the real crisis is still far from arriving. Locked by the heavenly race in reality, and now the demon abyss is about to descend in the game, it seems that the human race is truly facing destruction. Su Nan shook his head. However, he then thought of the ancient powerhouses who might not have fallen but instead traveled to other world spaces, and he calmed down again. If those ancient powerhouses really haven't fallen, it is highly likely that they will not sit idly by and watch the complete annihilation of the humans of the demon world, and they might intervene when the time comes. Are there any demon god level demon beasts in the demon abyss? Su Nan continued to ask. This question was very important, now that his identity as an innate demon beast had been exposed. If there really are demon gods who want his innate demon chi, then he is in danger. Luo Yu thought for a moment and said, there should be demon gods. Once, there were 9 great primordial demon gods in the demon abyss. Some fell in ancient times, but several have never left the demon abyss. Those primordial demon gods are likely still alive. It's just unknown whether any new demon gods have emerged over the 10,000 years. So there are still demon gods alive. Sunan felt a sinking sensation in his heart. If there are god-level demon beasts, there surely would be saint-level ones as well. He dared not imagine what would happen if those demon beasts entered the demon world. As this crossed his mind, he suddenly thought of another question, which puzzled him. Since the demon abyss contains so many powerful demon beasts, why haven't they taken advantage of the weakness of the human and demon clans after ancient times to re-enter the demon world and take over this world? Ordinary demon beasts cannot pass through chaos to enter the demon world, they can only wait for the intersection between the demon abyss and the demon world. But it is different for those saint and god-level demon beasts. They likely have the ability to cross chaos. After the ancient times, the strength of the human and demon clans in the demon world plummeted, which theoretically would present the easiest opportunity for conquest. However, the reality was that after the ancient times, demon beasts rarely appeared. Luo Yu did not answer directly but explained, the demon abyss is so called because it is shaped like a great abyss. It is said that the demon abyss is divided into 5 levels, with different realms of demon beasts at each level. The first level of the demon abyss, also the topmost level, belongs to king level and those below. This level has the most demon beasts, the second level is emperor level, the third level is saint level, the fourth level is god level. As for whether there are demon beasts existing on the 5th level, no one knows, but it is highly probable that there aren't any. After all, the 9 great primordial demon gods were only on the 4th layer. The 5-layered demon abyss. Sunan was alarmed. From this perspective, the demon abyss is truly the ultimate advanced map, with the first level filled with king-level beasts, which are difficult to kill and can resurrect. Fortunately, the ancient human clan was powerful, otherwise, it would be hard to withstand such existences. For us demon beasts, the demon abyss is more like a huge prison, the more powerful the existence, the harder it is to leave the demon abyss. Ordinary demon beasts, because they're on the first level of the demon abyss, are not heavily restricted and therefore find it easiest to escape. However, those saint and god level demon beasts, residing on the 3rd and 4th levels, need to ascend continuously to surpass the 2nd and 1st levels in order to leave. That's tantamount to escaping from prison, and consecutive escapes at that. Naturally, the demon abyss does not permit it. Only when the demon abyss approaches this world does it become influenced, and the existences on the 3rd and 4th levels have the chance to break free. The demon abyss is like a prison. Sunan was astonished as this was the first time he heard such a claim. He then breathed a sigh of relief, realizing that if this was the case, he did not have much to worry about for the time being. Yet, remembering what the old woman had said, he felt uneasy again. According to the old woman, those demon gods seem to have a way to act even when the demon abyss has not descended. Sunan posed this question. Unfortunately, Luo Yu's knowledge clearly could not match that of the old woman, and he was not aware of these matters. Having gained a general understanding of the demon abyss, Sunan felt much more at ease. He returned Luo Yu to the mountain and water gourd and continued with his original plan, slaying demon beasts to gather fortune. Universe in the sleeve unfolded, and an old man was released by him. This old man was emperor level, the same one from not long ago at Bone Mountain. Sunan originally intended to force information about the whereabouts of other emperor-level demonic beasts in Tianjua province from the old man, but the old man remained defiant until death without any hint of speaking. Without hesitation, Sunan executed God and Demon Sky Devour and devoured the old man. After consuming the second emperor-level demonic beast, Sky Demon devouring God Sutra slightly improved again, and he was only 28 emperor-level beasts away from a breakthrough. Like the old woman, the old man contributed 500 points of fortune to him. Wang Nan's total fortune soared to 3,900 points. Art of Fate was performed, consuming 100 points of fortune, leaving exactly 2,000 points of available fortune. 2,000 points of fortune, I wonder if it's enough to have an impact on that unknown heavenly clan expert. His gaze swept over his body, and the cause and effect lines emerged before his eyes. The cause and effect lines related to the heavenly race did not increase, indicating that the heavenly race had yet to make a move. He wasn't in a rush and continued his hunting of demon beasts. A king-class demonic beast was released by him. This time, he directly forcibly read its memories. He was disappointed. The memory of this king-class demonic beast contained the whereabouts of several other king-class demonic beasts, but there was no information about the whereabouts of emperor-level demonic beasts. Fortunately, this time he also learned that there were a total of 3 emperor-level demonic beasts in the demon god palace of Tianjua province. Besides the old man he had just devoured, there were 2 more. Next, he looked at his fortune. 100 points. A king-class demonic beast had only increased his demon race luck by 100 points, 100 points less than before. Is this because my ream has improved? Or is it because my fortune is now too high? Su Nan frowned. 100 points of fortune from a king-class demonic beast was too little. Moreover, he still needed to perform the art of fate tribulation to completely erase its mark, which meant he didn't gain any net chi luck. What was even more disappointing was that the king-class demonic beast provided an almost negligible increase to his Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra. It could be said that making a breakthrough relying on king-class demonic beasts was practically impossible. Such hunting is too wasteful, I must maximize the benefits. Out of the 11 demon beasts, there were still 5 at the king level, and currently, the benefits that a king-class beast could bring him were too meager. To increase the benefits, apart from the daily tasks, it seemed there was only one other way. Mainline task. There were quite a few people on the forum who had received mainline tasks to hunt demon beasts, and those tasks were somewhat similar to the Wrath of the Demon Monarch tasks, requiring players to hunt a certain number of demon beasts. If I could also get one, even without the daily task, I could still get demon power, and maybe even rewards like divine ancient treasures. The hunting demon beast tasks were mostly 5-star, with rich rewards. He had thought about triggering such a task before, but had never succeeded. For ordinary players, triggering a mainline task for hunting demon beasts might be easy, but for him, it was a bit difficult. He had hunted so many demon beasts, so if it was possible for him to trigger the task, it would have happened already. It looks like after exiting the game, I still have to search the forum and see where others have triggered tasks. If that doesn't work, then I might have to consider using a main quest replication card. One idea after another flashed through his mind, and Su Nan had a plan. He didn't exit the game immediately because he had other things to do before that. His gaze turned to foreknowledge. There were 58 uses of foreknowledge left for today, and time had already reached 9 o'clock in reality. 58 uses of foreknowledge were enough to preview what would happen up to 3 days later when he entered the Demon Clan ancestral land. He wanted to see how he would die in the Demon Clan ancestral land 3 days later. Moreover, he had come to Tianjia province with the objective of dealing with the threat of the Destiny Society, and so far, he had only achieved half of his goal. Foreknowledge began. The devouring of many demonic beasts has further advanced your Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra, but you are not content with just this and plan to hunt for more demonic beasts. 6 hours later, you arrive at Tianjia City, the largest ancient city of the human race in Tianjia province. You know that there is a member of king level from the Demon God Palace hidden here. 8 hours later, you find that member and capture him. Afterwards, you do not leave immediately, but go to Tiangong Pavilion in the city to purchase Demon Sutra and information about demon beasts. After spending 10 drops of king level essence blood, you buy the Demon Sutras corresponding to the 4 portions of king level ancient demon essence blood on you and also learn about some suppressed demonic beast sites. After screening, you have identified 3 locations most likely to suppress an emperor level demonic beast, namely Liujin River, Demon Sealing Lake, and Bloodstone Mountain. You chose to head to Demon Sealing Lake, the closest location to you, and 6 hours later, you arrived at Demon Sealing Lake. After some searching, you successfully found the place of suppression. The formation was activated, but what made your expression ugly was that the demonic beast suppressed here was powerful, possessing late-stage emperor-level strength. You didn't act rashly, and eventually, you avoided disaster. You continued on to another location suspected of suppressing an emperor-level demonic beast. 20 hours later, you arrived at Liujin Mountain. After some searching, you found another formation for suppressing demonic beasts. The formation was activated and an early-stage emperor-level demonic beast was released. You didn't hesitate, struck it down and devoured it. Congratulations, your Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra has advanced to a certain extent. 1 day later, the last day of the Heavenly Demon Grand Ceremony selection arrived. Your true body held nothing back and shocked all the Demon Clan by gaining first place with your powerful strength. With enough accumulation, your life wheel scripture has advanced to the 4th layer. You have acquired a new ability that allows you to exchange fortune for a temporary bout of good luck by using chi luck. 1.5 days later, you finally discovered that a huge causality line had appeared on you, and you knew that a Heavenly Clan expert had taken action against you. You didn't wait, indeed, you used up all the demon race luck to perform the art of fate. All chi luck was consumed. Unfortunately, the causality line on you did not disappear. Not enough. Even with preparation, Sunan still felt a heaviness in his heart. Now he had 2,000 points of available fortune, and in his foreknowledge, he had also slain an emperor-level demonic beast, which was another 400 points of chi luck. Moreover, with the task refresh, he was bound to hunt a demonic emperor, which would earn him several hundred more points of chi luck. Although these were not mentioned in his foreknowledge, they were events that were bound to happen. Adding all these bits and pieces together, when he used the art of fate in his foreknowledge, he likely had 3,000 points of chi luck. Having used up so much chi luck and still not being able to trigger the fate tribulation of that heavenly clan expert made Sunan feel somewhat helpless. The breakthrough of the life wheel scripture gave you the confidence to resist the curse of the ancient desolate ruins. You controlled your avatar to enter deep into the ancient desolate ruins, following the roars coming occasionally from deep within the ruins, and found a cave. You know that in this cave, not only are there people from the outside world called the Destiny Society, but there is also a great terror within, and those outsiders have the ability to release that terror. You didn't dare to be careless and decided to use 1,000 changes and 10,000 transmutations, transforming into one of those outsiders to investigate the situation. The plan went smoothly, and you stealthily caught one of the outsiders, forcibly read their memories, and then used 1,000 changes and 10,000 transmutations to successfully infiltrate their group. From the memory of that outsider, you learn that the existence in this cave is related to the former sect master of the ancient wilderness sect, suspected to have turned into the resentment of the sect master. After one failure, the outsiders planned to use that resentment to cast a curse on you. You did not act immediately but waited silently, looking for the right opportunity. 2 days later, the heavenly demon hall opened, and along with many other qualified demons, your true body entered it to pay homage to the heavenly demon statues. During this process, some lucky individuals received the power from the carvings on the stone pillars in the Great Hall and awakened their bloodline talents. After paying homage, the demon clan ancestral land was opened, and you, along with a dozen other qualified demon geniuses, entered the ancestral land. You knew that you might arrive in a dangerous place this time, so you decisively consumed 200 points of chi luck in exchange for a brief spell of good fortune. Affected by your good luck, you arrived at a burial ground and found that there was no resentful demon presence, no danger. You attempted to excavate in this burial ground to find any preserved demon essence blood. After 4 hours of digging, you obtained a skeleton containing a drop of king-level ancient demon essence blood, as well as a skeleton containing a drop of emperor-level ancient demon blood essence. 2.5 days later, at the depths of the ancient desolate ruins, the outsider's altar was completed. The leading old man took you deeper into the cave, planning to draw what was suspected to be the remaining resentment of the ancient wilderness sect master onto the altar. When you reached deep into the cave, you saw a strange existence, seemingly a composite, one made from numerous divine souls mixed together. On that being, were faces full of resentment, each face appearing like an independent entity, and the one dominating these faces was a middle-aged person with eyes tightly shut. You knew you could no longer wait, and decided to make your avatar take action. However, before you could, you suddenly saw the middle-aged person abruptly open their eyes and look towards you. The next moment, the eyes of all the faces on that being that were suspected to be the resentment of the ancient wilderness sect master turned towards you simultaneously, and the eyes that were once filled with resentment now revealed greed and longing. Chapter 418. The Regret of the Heavenly Demon. Unfortunately, you have caught the attention of the resentful spirit that seems to be the sect master of the ancient wilderness sect. Before you can react, a terrifying power erupts from the spirit's body. You are unable to withstand that terrifying power and, along with the outsiders, you are instantly killed on the spot. Your avatar dies, transforming into the origin of the technique and returning to your true body, while your second divine soul is called by the demon abyss, returning there. What's going on? Why has the ancient wilderness sect master targeted me? Sunan was shocked and suspicious, then immediately thought of a possibility: it's the life wheel scripture. The avatar died again in the ancient desolate ruins. Even though he had made a breakthrough to emperor level this time, he still had no chance to resist the sect master's resentful spirit of the ancient wilderness sect. According to his previous guess, the sect master of the ancient wilderness sect might also have cultivated the life wheel scripture. Now that the sect master's resentful spirit had targeted him, it was highly probable that it was because of the life wheel scripture. 3 days later, within the demon clan ancestral land, you meet with several other geniuses of the demon clan and prepare to head to the deepest part of the demon clan ancestral land to obtain the heavenly demon inheritance. On the way, you see enormous tombs from which terrifying beings occasionally attack you. With your great strength and cooperation, you manage to arrive at the deepest part of the ancestral land, albeit in a bit of a mess, and see a huge stone hall. But when you try to enter the stone hall, a peak emperor-level resentful demon appears. You are no match for it and scatter in all directions. Being well prepared, you exchange chi luck for a brief stroke of good fortune, making the resentful demon not target you. You seize the opportunity to approach the stone hall. The gates of the stone hall are wide open, you successfully enter, but the moment you do, you fall into a deep sleep beyond your control. A minute later, you are awakened by a series of shouts, only to find that you have somehow fallen asleep on a huge rock. When you come to, you are astonished to find yourself transformed into a child with a half-demon appearance, with horns growing from your head. Inside you, all the power that was once yours has disappeared, leaving only an unfamiliar and weak bloodline power. By your side, are 3 other children similar to you. They are the ones who woke you up. You look around blankly, not knowing where you are. Before you can ask, the 3 children quickly pull you to start running forward. Despite their surprising strength, you cannot resist and are drawn along. 2 minutes later, you arrive at a huge ravine led by the 3 children. Though you are unaware of your location or why you have become this way, you learn from the children that your current identity is that of a girl named Xiao Yu. At the same time, you find out the children have brought you here because they discovered a dying big bird. Looking down at the ravine below, you vaguely see a big red feathered bird lying on a stream at the bottom of the ravine. You notice that there's a huge hole in the bird's back, from which blood is gushing out, tinting the stream red. You're not concerned about the big bird and are desperate to understand where you are, preparing to continue inquiring. Suddenly, you see a giant python appear from below the ravine, heading straight for the big bird. The other 3 children can't help but cry out in alarm, and one of them throws a stone at the python. The python notices you and swiftly moves in your direction. The 3 children pull you and start to run. 3 minutes later, you still haven't escaped the python's clutches, and you die. Is this an illusion realm? Looking at the last foreknowledge, Sunan was somewhat puzzled. In the foreknowledge, he fell asleep after entering the stone hall. Undoubtedly, that must be one of the tests to receive the heavenly demon inheritance. But the content of the test puzzled him. Was it to save the big bird? Or was it to escape from the clutches of the python? Seems like I need to go and ask Long Yunhan and those guys. Although no one has obtained the heavenly demon inheritance over the years, there must have been many who entered the land of inheritance. The demon clan must have some understanding of the trials for that inheritance. Those in the 10,000 Demon Ridge, ranking among the top 5 great clans, must know something. Long Yunhan and the others wanted to obtain the heavenly demon inheritance, they must have thoroughly researched the information. In the foreknowledge, he didn't know this information, which means Long Yunhan and the others didn't share it with him. This was to be expected. They cooperated with him, just wanting to use his strength to get into the deepest part of the demon clan ancestral land, into that stone hall. Once they entered the stone hall, they would become competitors, and naturally, they wouldn't want him to know the information. In Dongchen state, his true body quickly sets out to find Long Yunhan and his group. Looking at the information from this foreknowledge. There was a lot of information in this foreknowledge, but Sunan wasn't pleased at all. At present, there are 3 crises that need to be resolved within 3 days, the Heavenly Race, Destiny Society and the Demon Clan Ancestral Land. The Heavenly Race's second move hangs over my head like a sword, I must find a way to deal with it urgently, and there isn't much time left for me. The problem with the Destiny Society is relatively easy to solve. The danger in the ancient desolate ruins mainly comes from that supposed sect master of the ancient wilderness sect. As long as I avoid the sect master, there should generally be no problems. As for the demon clan ancestral land, it concerns the mainline task of stealing the demon saint essence blood, and if I can truly obtain the heavenly demon inheritance, it would be a huge opportunity that I cannot simply give up. 3 issues needed to be confronted, and the most pressing matter that required resolution was still the problem with the heavenly race. To deal with heavenly clan experts, his only current option was to accumulate chi luck. I should first get my hands on the Demon Sutra and the locations of the places suppressing the Emperor-level demons. After pondering for a moment, Sunan decided to follow the plan he had seen in his foreknowledge. He didn't immediately head for the place where the Emperor-level demonic beast was suppressed, as foretold. Instead, he went towards the largest ancient city in Tianzhu province, Tianzhu City. Although the foreknowledge had provided 3 locations, they were only rough positions, and finding the formation suppressing the demonic beasts without more detailed information would be challenging. Moreover, the Demon Sutra couldn't be given to him by foreknowledge, he still needed to purchase it from the Tiangong Pavilion. The avatar moved swiftly into action. In Dongchen state, Su Nan's true body also quickly found Long Yunhan and the others. The group was evidently discussing something, and it just so happened that all 5 of them were present. Brother Lang Wu, I heard you were looking for a way to go to Tianjia province. Have you found one? Upon seeing Su Nan, He Wushuan of the Chongming Crane clan, a handsome man, inquired. Su Nan shook his head, no. The group showed no surprise, as if they had anticipated this. Long Yuanmu asked, what brings Brother Lang Wu to us now? Su Nan didn't beat around the bush and stated directly, I want to know what the challenges are for the heavenly demon inheritance. At these words, the group was taken aback, then exchanged glances discreetly. Long Yunhan shook his head and said, Brother Lang Wu flatters us too much. As for the challenge, we know very little. Clearly, they were not planning to tell him. Su Nan was not surprised and glanced at them before saying to himself, to my knowledge, once one enters the land of the heavenly demon inheritance, one will fall asleep uncontrollably. Once awake again, one will have become a child. He outright shared the event that occurred in his foreknowledge. He had only spoken halfway when Long Yunhan and the others could no longer sit still. You actually know. These are top secrets, how did you learn of them? Su Nan remained composed and thought to himself, as expected, the people before him really knew what the heavenly demon inheritance challenges were, just as he had expected. I not only know about the challenges of the heavenly demon inheritance, but I also know about many dangers in the ancestral land. One of them is fatal to you. If I don't mention it, you will definitely fall. Su Nan said indifferently. In reality, he didn't truly know much, the information provided by the foreknowledge was very vague. The only danger he was aware of was the peak emperor level resentful demon that appeared at the end. Unfortunately, he had no foreknowledge opportunities left today, otherwise, he would have definitely sought foresight in his foreknowledge. Of course, he could foretell tomorrow, but he preferred knowing now to prepare sooner rather than later. Besides, with him there, unless he also couldn't obtain the inheritance, it would never be the other's turn. Even if he told the group everything about the demon clan ancestral land, it would have no impact on him. There are many dangers in the ancestral land, how do you know that the danger you're aware of is something we will encounter? The only woman in the group, Luan Qingye from the Crystal Feather Phoenix clan, spoke for the first time. Long Yuanmu nodded and added, how do we know whether what you are saying is true or false? The group did not believe Su Nan's words. They were unaware of how Su Nan had acquired the information about the challenges of the heavenly demon inheritance, but they were convinced that Su Nan's understanding of the demon ancestors' land could not surpass theirs. In their eyes, if they were unaware of certain dangers, it was even less likely that Su Nan would be. However, at that moment, a youth from the Morning Star Mink clan named Xing Yi spoke up, he's telling the truth. I have a premonition that what Brother Lang Wu is about to say has a high probability of helping us escape a disaster. Hearing this, the others were astonished and looked at Xing Yi together. Seeing Xing Yi nod at them, they all fell silent and looked at Su Nan with a hint of surprise in their eyes. Su Nan was also surprised and gave Xing Yi a deep look. Is this the ability to foreknow fortunes and misfortunes? Su Nan was somewhat amazed. Clearly, the others trusted the foreknowledge opportunity of this Morning Star beast from the same clan, and after exchanging glances with one another, Long Yunhan finally said. All right, since Brother Lang Wu is so sincere, as long as your information can truly help us, it won't hurt to share what we know with you. Su Nan said, to my knowledge, in the deepest part of the demon clan ancestral land, at the entry to the heavenly demon inheritance place, there is an inconspicuous grave, which is the necessary path to enter the land of inheritance. Once you pass through there, you will inevitably be attacked by a resentful demon inside the grave, and that is a peak emperor level resentful demon. A peak emperor level resentful demon. Upon hearing this, everyone gasped and looked serious. They were all just at the peak king level, if they truly went up against a peak emperor level, they would almost certainly die. But then they were puzzled and didn't understand how Su Nan was so sure that the peak emperor level resentful demon would attack them. Naturally, Su Nan wouldn't explain too much. The others were puzzled, but with Xing Yi's words as reassurance, they chose to believe. With such matters, it was better to believe than to doubt, since Su Nan didn't elaborate, they couldn't press him for details. I've said what I know, Now it's your turn, Su Nan stated. Long Yunmu and the others exchanged looks, and at last, He Wuxuan stepped forward and said, I'll speak. Rumor has it that Lord Heavenly Demon's inheritance has 3 trials. The information we know is pieced together by seniors who succeeded in passing the first trial and extracts from ancient books. There isn't much information, and Brother Langwu should know why once you enter Lord Heavenly Demon's trial, there are only 2 outcomes, either survive a trial and leave the land of inheritance or die within the trial. The era of Lord Heavenly Demon is so distant from the present, it is countless tens of thousands of years ago, during the early days of ancient times, allegedly at the dawn of heaven and earth. That world was completely a barbaric era, with fierce beasts rampant, and both our demon clan and the human clan could only struggle to survive. Lord Heavenly Demon was the one who led our demon clan to rise during that era, becoming the most powerful ancestor of our clan. And Lord Heavenly Demon's 3 trials are actually his 3 regrets, with the first regret occurring during his youth. Early ancient times. Fierce beasts rampant. A journey back to ancient times. Listening, Su Nan was shocked. He hadn't expected that in his foreknowledge, he would journey back to ancient times again, but this time early ancient times rather than the late ancient times of his last experience. During Lord Heavenly Demon's youth, a disaster struck his tribe, leading to its destruction with only Lord Heavenly Demon surviving the calamity. That disaster was also the first regret of Lord Heavenly Demon. According to ancient books, when Lord Heavenly Demon was young, he and several playmates found a badly wounded red bird in a mountain ravine, right when a giant python was about to devour it. The playmates with Lord Heavenly Demon tried to stop the python, but to their dismay, the python was a fierce beast. It devoured Lord Heavenly Demon's friends, with only Lord Heavenly Demon himself narrowly escaping death. By the time Lord Heavenly Demon returned to his tribe and brought the tribal chief back to the ravine, they found that the red bird had been devoured, and the giant python was nowhere to be seen. They thought that would be the end of it. However, the next day, the parents of the red bird arrived, and they were not ordinary fierce beasts, their strength was terrifying. Upon discovering their offspring had been devoured, in a fury, they turned 100 miles into a sea of fire, annihilating countless lives, including Lord Heavenly Demon's tribe. He Wuxuan spoke slowly, and Su Nan had a sudden realization. He finally understood what had happened in the scene from his foreknowledge. Clearly, he had returned to ancient times, becoming a young Heavenly Demon, experiencing events once lived by Heavenly Demon himself. But after all, he was not the Heavenly Demon. The Heavenly Demon of the past escaped the jaws of the giant beast, while he, unfortunately, did not survive. And now he understood, Lord Heavenly Demon's first regret was his inability to prevent this disaster. And to pass the trial, he must prevent the disaster from occurring. Chapter 419, Unknown Regrets. Dreaming back to ancient times, and moreover, experiencing events that once occurred to another person, Su Nan faced such a situation for the first time. Involuntarily, he quickly contemplated the information contained within. According to He Wuxuan's words, fulfilling the first regret of the Heavenly Demon wasn't difficult, but since few people had managed to pass the first trial in all these years, it indicated that the matter wasn't as simple as it seemed on the surface. Indeed, what He Wuxuan said next confirmed his speculation. To pass this first trial, one must prevent the disaster from occurring and let the Heavenly Demon Lord's clan escape the calamity. Initially, some tried to kill the giant python and save the red bird, but unfortunately, in the end, they all failed. The reason is simple, the Heavenly Demon was too weak back then, while the giant python and red bird were both fierce beasts, success was simply not possible. Others tried to return to the Heavenly Demon Lord's clan at the first opportunity, seeking help from others, but unfortunately, there wasn't enough time. By the time they got back to the clan and then returned to the ravine, everything was too late. Even a large number of people attempted to hide. Before the arrival of the parents of that red bird, they would find a big mountain, dig a cave, and take the clan's people to hide. After all, those two fierce beasts' flame burned only on the surface. As long as one hid deep enough, they could escape the flames. This idea held a big chance of success, but sadly, those two fierce beasts were exceptionally sensitive to the aura of life. Even if hidden 10,000 meters underground, they could still be found. If it were just one or two people hiding, it might not attract the attention of those two fierce beasts, but a clan of thousands of people would certainly draw their notice. Eventually, after countless attempts, the seniors of my demon clan finally found a relatively feasible method. Upon hearing this, Su Nan's eyes lit up, and he immediately asked, What method? Migration. Take advantage of the time before those two fierce beasts slay all living creatures within 100 miles and relocate the entire clan beyond 100 miles. He Wushuan seemed to have nothing to reserve, revealing all the information he knew. Migration. Su Nan frowned, this method seemed somewhat unreliable. Relocating 100 miles within one day wasn't impossible if the Heavenly Demons clan had king-level powerhouses. It would be easy to accomplish. But could it really be that simple? It can't be that simple, right? If migration were so easy, people would have attempted it long ago. He Wushuan didn't hide anything and said, indeed, this method has a very big problem. During the time of the Heavenly Demon Lord, fierce beasts wreaked havoc, and our demon clan could only barely survive, lacking powerful individuals. And the region where the Heavenly Demon Lord's clan was located was even more in the depths of the great wilderness. To travel beyond 100 miles, no matter which direction they took, they had to cross the territories of several powerful fierce beasts. Many of these fierce beasts even considered my demon clan as food. Once luck turned bad and those fierce beasts took notice, it spelled a disaster for the entire clan. So the danger still came from the fierce beasts? Suddenly realizing this, Su Nan considered how a migration of a clan of thousands would be too massive. With a number of powerful beings nearby, carving out a bloody path in such an environment would indeed be too difficult. And in that dream, the Heavenly Demon was too weak to make much of a difference. The chances of success seemed very slim. Involuntarily, Su Nan thought of the mountain and water gourd he possessed. If I could bring the mountain and water gourd into the dream, it would be easy to achieve this. He could completely pack all the people of the clan into the mountain and water gourd, making it easy to either temporarily hide underground and avoid the calamity or migrate 100 miles away. However, given the current information, this was clearly impossible. If one could bring treasures into the dream, not to mention 3 regrets, even 10 would have likely been resolved by now. Those seniors who first wanted to use this method all failed, and it was even considered an impossible feat until later, someone obtained a map of the Great Wilderness and finally, a turning point appeared. A map of the Great Wilderness. Su Nan's eyes brightened as he turned to look at the others, his intentions clear in his gaze. The others didn't say much this time, and the woman named Luan Qingyu pulled out a piece of animal hide. Su Nan took it, and saw that the map was drawn on the animal hide with crude lines depicting vast mountains and rivers. Despite the roughness of the lines, they outlined a magnificent landscape. On the map, a location was circled in red. Starting from a red dot, a meandering red line avoided several big mountains, eventually reaching a valley surrounded by 3 mountains. Clearly, the spot marked with the red circle was where the Heavenly Demons clan resided. Following the path on this map has the greatest chance of success. On this route, there are only 2 powerful fierce beasts. With a bit of caution and some luck, it is possible to evade those 2 fierce beasts. Su Nan quickly surveyed the map's route, committing it to memory before returning the map. He continued, what's the second trial then? This time it was Xing Yi from the Morning Star Xiu clan who answered him. Xing Yi said softly, the second trial is another regret left by the Heavenly Demon Lord in his youth. The Heavenly Demon Lord once had a mentor, whom he met on his journey after leaving the Great Wilderness when his clan was annihilated. Rumors say that at that time the Heavenly Demon Lord encountered a fierce beast and nearly lost his life, only to be coincidentally saved by his mentor, who then took him under his wing. Lord Heavenly Demon's mentor was not an ordinary person but an elder of a powerful influence known as the Yao Court, an emperor-level powerhouse. At that time, he was one of the few powerful figures among the demon clan. After the Lord Heavenly Demon was brought to the Yao Court, he devoted himself to cultivation under that elder. However, in his 20s, the elder was ambushed while trying to help the Lord Heavenly Demon obtain a spirit object. Eventually, in that great battle, the Lord Heavenly Demon's mentor was gravely injured and fell victim to a nefarious plot, poisoned by an incurable toxin, leading to his demise and his Dao vanishing into oblivion. And the second regret of Lord Heavenly Demon is finding the cure for the poison. Cure for the poison? Su Nan frowned. Even without entering the trial, he could sense its difficulty. A poison that could lead to the demise of an emperor-level powerhouse was certainly not simple. Putting aside whether there was a cure, even if there was, it wouldn't be easy to obtain. His gaze turned towards the others as he intended to inquire about the cure. Seeing his intent, Xing Yi, however, shook his head and said, "We know very little about this trial. Indeed, more than one person has passed this trial before, but those people did not wish to stop there and chose to go on. As a result, those people all died, and the method to pass the trial was never revealed. You guys don't know the cure for the poison either. Su Nan looked at them deeply with a hint of doubt in his eyes. The others met Su Nan's gaze head on, neither admitting nor denying. Seeing their reaction, Su Nan understood. Obviously, they had all made some preparations, but perhaps each person's preparations were different. Under such circumstances, their own preparations became their aces up their sleeves. Who would easily reveal their trump card? Not getting the information he wanted, Su Nan did not dwell on it and continued, then what's the third trial? As for the third trial, we know even less, and we cannot even be sure what exactly Lord Heavenly Demon's regret was, as everyone who has entered the third trial has died. What we do know is based on the speculations of our predecessors. According to the information some managed to glean from ancient books, there are two most likely possibilities for the third trial. One possibility is that it's related to something Lord Heavenly Demon discovered when he broke through to Emperor level. Some have found hints in ancient texts that a major event occurred when Lord Heavenly Demon made his breakthrough, something that had a profound influence on him. The second possibility is that it's related to something that happened when Lord Heavenly Demon tried to break through to Saint level, which again, we do not know. Upon hearing this, Su Nan's heart sank. You mean to say that we cannot even confirm what the regret is? For the first two trials, even knowing what the regret is doesn't guarantee one can pass the trial. Now, for the third trial, not even knowing what the regret is, it is undoubtedly the most dangerous and mysterious one. Going in blind might mean not even knowing how one dies. I wonder if my foreseeing the future will still work in the trial. Su Nan was somewhat concerned. The situation with the Heavenly Demon inheritance was different from last time's ancient god tomb. The illusion realm of the ancient god tomb seemed to involve the powers of time and space, and each time, one's true body entered. The trial of the Heavenly Demon takes the form of a dream, but can he use foreseeing the future in a dream? The likelihood seems slim. Maybe I can try it out. Foreseeing the future relies on the game interface. If I can trigger abilities related to the game interface in the dream, then it indicates that foreseeing the future is also very likely to be usable. With a thought, Su Nan came up with an idea. If he can use the items from his personal space in the dream, it would undoubtedly tell him that he can foresee in the dreamscape. If not, so be it. If so, then the difficulty of this Heavenly Demon trial would doubtless plummet for him. Seeing Su Nan deep in thought, and perhaps with good intentions, Long Yunhan said, Brother Lang Wu, with your strength, there's no need to fixate on the Heavenly Demon inheritance. He Wushuan nodded and said, the Heavenly Demon inheritance is indeed precious, but one must be alive to claim it. With the Heavenly Demon's 3 trials, as long you can pass one, you'll receive a generous reward, making the trip worthwhile. Just don't act rashly when the time comes. Thank you both for your kindness. Su Nan came back to his senses and smiled. Unable to glean more information, he no longer pressed the matter and bid farewell to the group before turning to leave. It must be said, this journey brought significant gains. If he didn't know this information, even with his ability to foresee the future, he would have undoubtedly needed a significant number of foreknowledge opportunities to predict this information. If luck wasn't on his side, he might not even pass the first trial. These guys must have omitted some details from me, but no matter, now that I have this information, predicting again will definitely reveal more, he mused. Watching him leave, once his figure vanished, Long Yunhan and the others exchanged glances, a barely noticeable smile flashing in their eyes. The information they told Su Nan was accurate, they just omitted some parts. For instance, the first regret wasn't so simple as just ensuring the tribe where the Heavenly Demon resided wasn't exterminated. They also needed to maintain the population of the tribe, and if the number of tribe's people who died along the way exceeded 1/10, the trial would be deemed a failure. And the second regret was not merely about curing the Heavenly Demon's poisoned master. In Tianjia province, the Avatar was still proceeding with the plan, heading to Tianjia to buy the Demon Sutra and information about the locations of suppressed demonic beasts. Looking at the time, Su Nan exited the game. There were still 3 days left before the matter of the Demon Clan ancestral land, so there was no hurry. At present, he needed to resolve the issue with the heavenly race. Picking up his phone to log into the forum, he planned to find and trigger the mainline task for hunting demonic beasts, just as he had previously thought. What on earth did deity Wang Nan do? How could his chi luck surge so much? Deity Wang Nan, please advise, how can one obtain a large amount of chi luck? As soon as he entered the forum, Su Nan saw a series of posts about him. Clearly, the rapid growth of his chi luck had startled all the players. It's a bit too high profile, Su Nan couldn't help shaking his head. There was no helping it, with the ranking list being public, he couldn't conceal it even if he wanted to, and he still had to obtain chi luck. Now, most players' chi luck was only around 1 or 200, and even top players had only around 3 or 400. Yet Wang Nan's chi luck was already at an astonishing 4,000. What does that signify? Many emperor-level powerhouses don't have that much chi luck. On the demon race luck ranking list, Wang Nan's position had long soared to more than 300. A rank in the top 300 of a race was nothing short of shocking, especially for the demon race, which was feared by all. Now, those ranked above him were mostly ancient demonic beasts that had survived from ancient times, with their strength at the late emperor grade or the peak emperor level. Ignoring these posts, Su Nan directly went to the Tianjua province section of the forum and started searching for the mainline related to demonic beasts using keywords. Posts refreshed, and soon, a post caught his attention. Lingzhen Palace, Zhuang Valley, and Chengxiu Gate have issued demon elimination tasks. All disciples from these three sects are eligible to obtain demon elimination tasks from the Task Grand Hall. Had the three great human influences of Tianjua province issued a demon elimination task? Clicking on the post, after a moment, Su Nan's eyes lit up with sharpness. Without a doubt, this was the task he was searching for. The demon elimination task was specially released for players by the three sects. The three influences hadn't put up any rewards, but once players accepted it, they would receive a mainline task. However, the targets of this task were the disciples of the three forces. I wonder if I can obtain the task by using 1,000 changes and 10,000 transmutations to blend in. Su Nan decided to give it a try. He continued to scroll further down. Suddenly, another post caught his eye. It was a bounty post with a reward for slaying a demonic beast. Such posts were numerous on the forum. Many people who encountered tasks they couldn't complete and didn't want to give up would resort to this method. Su Nan had also taken on such tasks before. His golden leaf spirit ginseng had been acquired this way. Normally, he wouldn't pay any attention to such posts and wouldn't even give them a second glance. The reason was simple, they couldn't offer a reward that intrigued him. This time was different, because what the other party offered was something that even he found tempting. Chapter 420, Essence of the Fallen Sun. Help! Which great god can help me slay a king-class demonic beast? Upon completion, I am willing to reward you with a piece of Sun Meteorite Essence. Sun Meteorite Essence. Su Nan was attracted by these four words. He had never heard of Sun Meteorite Essence, nor did he know its use. But having cultivated the Great Sun Golden Body scripture and merged with the Li Fire Essence, Su Nan was particularly sensitive to anything related to the sun. He clicked into the post and saw a screenshot from the game regarding the Sun Meteorite Essence added below the post. Sun Meteorite Essence, a meteorite that erupted from the sun thousands of years ago, it contains a wisp of the origin of the sun's flame due to being nurtured within the sun for countless years. The post attracted quite a few players' attention, but the comments below were uniformly pessimistic about the person who posted it. What are you thinking? Not to mention a king-level demonic beast, even a king-level demon is not something we players can handle now. Didn't you see what happened to the Angel Alliance yesterday? The 5 great war gods of the Angel Alliance all came out, yet they failed to harm that king-level demonic beast. If it weren't for a master stepping in at the last moment, the Angel Alliance would have suffered huge losses this time. Poster, you should just give up. With our current strength as players, only those from Dongchen State might have a chance to kill a king-level demon. Even God Lu De might not be able to. The Sun Meteorite Essence you mentioned should be good stuff. You can sell it at Tiangong Pavilion. If you're lucky and its value is sufficient, you might even hire a powerful person from Tiangong Pavilion. The game's introduction to Sun Meteorite Essence was as usual very brief and even lacking an explanation of its use. The only thing that attracted people was the origin of the sun's flame. Even a fool would know that the origin of the sun's flame must be extraordinary and extremely precious. But what of it? Without knowing its use, even gold is destined to be buried. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been put up for offer. As for this item, Su Nan didn't know whether he could use it, but that didn't stop him from wanting to give it a try. Hunting a king-class demonic beast, that's simple. Without hesitation, he directly messaged that player through the forum. He was no longer who he had been in the past. Even if someone knew his real identity, it wouldn't affect him, and he was not worried about someone discovering his true identity. At the same time, In the southern part of Hua country, not far from Yu country, a somewhat overweight young man lay on a sofa, idly browsing the forum. The young man had blonde hair and blue eyes, clearly not a native of Hua country. Near the young man were several other young men and women, all with blonde hair and blue eyes. Suddenly, the somewhat overweight young man noticed something. He stared at his phone and exclaimed in surprise, "Someone sent me a message, wanting to take up our task." "Really? Who is this great god? Is it God Lu Di?" Upon hearing this, the others all stood up and asked quickly. Whoever could take on such a task must be a great god, and not just a common one. They didn't hold much hope when they posted the task, knowing the difficulty of hunting a king-level demonic beast and that what they offered wasn't enough to attract top-tier great gods. Now that someone had taken the task, they were all curious as to which great god it might be. The young man's fingers moved swiftly, and he soon sent out a message. However, upon seeing the reply, the young man frowned and shook his head at the others. "That guy doesn't want to reveal his identity, only saying that he's sure he can help us complete the task." Hearing this, the group exchanged glances, all frowning. "It doesn't seem like it's God Lu Di, he wouldn't hide like this. But if it's not God Lu Di, where does he get the confidence to hunt a king-level beast, let alone a demonic one? Is he trying to cheat us, to get our stuff and run?" Skepticism filled their eyes as they doubted Su Nan. At that moment, one of the women thought for a moment and said, "Since he claims to have the strength to kill a king-level beast, let's believe him for now, but we'll have to change the way we cooperate. We'll have him help us complete the task first before giving him the item." "That's a good idea. If that guy really has a way to kill a king-class demonic beast, so be it. If not, we won't lose anything." "Exactly. No matter what, we need to complete the task first and cannot miss any hope. If we succeed this time, we too will have a chance to become great gods in the future." Their eyes lit up as they quickly made up their minds. On the other side, Su Nan saw the request from the other party and agreed without hesitation. Soon, the other party sent an address, "Since the great god is so straightforward, let's meet at the Willow Moon restaurant in Tianjia City. We'll be waiting for you in private room number 5 on the second floor." Tianjia City? Perfect, the avatar was already on his way there. After browsing the forum for a while, Su Nan entered the game. Tianjia Province. After a few hours of travel, the avatar finally arrived. At this moment, the avatar transformed back into the appearance of an ordinary player. No one would think that he was Wang Nan from Dongchen State. Not going straight to the Willow Moon restaurant, according to plan, Su Nan went to Tiangong Pavilion first. Most of the mortal and spirit grade essence blood at Dongchen State's Tiangong Pavilion has been exchanged by me. It's a good opportunity to exchange for some more essence blood. The more essence blood he replenished, the stronger the defense that the heavenly demon bone umbrella could unleash. He was looking forward to finding out if, with sufficient essence blood, whether the heavenly demon bone umbrella could really withstand the strength of a saint level. However, the origin of the heavenly demon bone umbrella was somewhat special, and Su Nan was not certain whether replenishing it with too much essence and blood would lead to any unforeseen incidents. But this thought flashed by, and he didn't pay it any mind. After all, he had complete control over the heavenly demon bone umbrella now, and he wasn't worried about anything, not to mention he had the ability to foresee the future. Upon entering the Tiangong Pavilion, he first followed the plan and purchased 4 demon sutras, then bought many demon beast suppression sites. By this point, Su Nan's reserves of king-level demon essence blood were completely depleted. Lately, he hadn't hunted many king-level demonic beasts. The ones he had hunted for his tasks were previously captured soul-devouring demons in the divine ruins. When those demons were slain, they left behind no corpses. Wanting to continue exchanging for essence and blood, he now had no surplus left. Having no choice, Su Nan's true body, far away in Dongchen State, took out the Xianhuang refining chi furnace and dropped in the corpses of 2 emperor-level demonic beasts to start the smelting process. Essence and blood wasn't something that could be refined in a short amount of time, especially from emperor-level demonic beasts. Su Nan wouldn't just wait around. Leaving the Tiangong Pavilion, he went straight to Liu Tavern. Liu Tavern. Several young men and women waited silently until a young girl could not hold back any longer and broke the silence. "Do you think that person will really come?" A youth shook his head. "It's hard to say, someone might be playing a prank on us." "It's not impossible," the guy agreed so readily, "it's a bit abnormal." They were excited when they first found out someone was willing to take on their task of hunting demon beasts and didn't think too much about it. Now that they had calmed down, a bad possibility dawned on them. In a large forest, all kinds of birds can be found. If the other party was indeed intentionally fooling them, then waiting here would undoubtedly be foolish. The group grew restless, about to stand up. Suddenly, a knock at the door made them pause. Could it be that person has arrived? They were somewhat incredulous. The door opened, and a young man of average build, also with blonde hair and blue eyes, appeared before them. The newcomer was none other than an avatar of Sunan. "You have been waiting for a long time," said Sunan in the language of the United States. Originally, his foreign language skills were not good, but this did not trouble him. By simply extracting the memories of any player, he naturally learned the language. He actually came. The group exchanged looks of disbelief, their minds racing through the appearances of top players as they looked at Sunan. Eventually, they realized that among the top 100 ranked players in Tianjua province, there was no one named Sunan. Not a top player. They were puzzled, then instinctively probed the aura emanating from Sunan. To their astonishment, they discovered they could not determine Sunan's realm. There were only two possibilities for this: either Sunan's realm was far above theirs, or he had concealed his aura. They naturally assumed the latter, which made them even more suspicious. The group exchanged glances, and ultimately decided to see what Sunan intended to do. "Top player, you flatter us with your presence. Your arrival is the greatest trust in us," they said. "Top player, my name is Jolie. I am a disciple of the Spiritual Heart Palace. I was the one who contacted you on the forum, and these are my teammates," said a slightly plump young man who quickly introduced himself and his team. Seeing this, the others took turns introducing themselves as well, then all turned their attention to Sunan, obviously waiting for him to introduce himself. Sunan replied evenly, "You don't need to know who I am, tell me about your task." Seeing his response, Jolie and the others had no choice but to repeat the requirements of their task. Their task was of a 5-star difficulty, and while the group did not mention the rewards, Sunan didn't bother to ask further. "Where is the king-class demonic beast you need to hunt?" "Let's go now," said Sunan. With limited time, he had many things to do and no time to waste here. "Top player, the king-class demonic beast we have to hunt is in Tianjua City," they replied. "In Tianjua City?" Sunan was taken aback. A member of the Demon God Palace was also in Tianjua City, could it be the same one? "Where in Tianjua City is this beast?" he continued to inquire. However, the group shook their heads. "We don't know, the beast hides itself well. We only know it belongs to a force called the Demon God Palace." "What a coincidence!" Sunan was surprised. That made things easier, saving him trouble. "Understood. Follow me," he said. From the memories of those members from the Demon God Palace, he knew where the demon was. Seeing Sunan leave, several people were at a loss. What's going on? Did he know where the demon they were looking for was? How could that be possible? Dizzy and confused, they subconsciously followed Sunan, and after a journey, they eventually arrived at a small courtyard in the eastern part of Tianjua City. Sunan kicked open the courtyard gate and walked in. "Dare to barge into my abode, have you outsiders grown tired of living?" A middle-aged man glared at them, and the next moment, the power of heaven and earth converged, and a terrifying aura pressed down on them. King level. This middle-aged man is king level. It's over, they were going to be killed this time. The complexions of several players turned pale, and they subconsciously wanted to use their chance for an unlimited logout. However, right after that, they saw a flash of light, and the middle-aged man collapsed to the ground. The one who made the move was naturally Sunan. This place was the largest ancient city of the human race in Tianjua province, with many powerful individuals, and he didn't want to attract unnecessary trouble, so he simply used the power of divine soul to severely injure the middle-aged man. As the middle-aged man fell, his disguise could no longer be maintained, and rolling demonic chi burst out from his body. Demon! He's a demon! The group was shocked, and upon seeing Sunan subdue the middle-aged man with one move, they were even more dumbfounded. What followed was simple: Sunan severely injured the demon, allowing the others to strike and kill it. Of course, Sunan still used his foreknowledge before that. Better safe than sorry. If after completing the task these guys just ran away, then he would have been busy for nothing. Now he had only one foreknowledge time left for today, but that would be enough. Ensuring there was no problem, Su Nan continued to make his move. Is it completed just like that? With the demon beast killed, the players looked at the task completion prompt on their panels, feeling as if they were dreaming. Looking back at Su Nan, they exchanged glances, even more doubtful. Is this man really a player? If it weren't for the fact that Su Nan also had blonde hair and blue eyes just like them, clearly a player from reality, and moreover, because they had contacted each other through the forum, they would definitely have thought that Su Nan was a human warrior from within the game. But if he was a player, how could he possess such terrifying strength? This power of subduing a king-level demonic beast with just a gesture, let alone God Lu Di, perhaps even those three from Dongchen State might not necessarily possess it, right? A big thigh. This is a big thigh. Coming back to their senses, the few reacted quickly, immediately realizing that Su Nan's identity was extraordinary. The young man called Joey reacted promptly, taking out a dimly lit stone and said respectfully, "Great God, this is your sunfall essence." Su Nan took the stone, glanced at it, and then put it away. This thing contained a trace of the origin of the sun's flame, and he planned to wait until tomorrow's foreknowledge times were refreshed to try refining it with the Xianhuang refining chi furnace in the foreknowledge. With the item in hand, Su Nan planned to leave, but when Joey and his companions saw him getting ready to leave, they quickly said, "Great God, can we add you as a friend? If there's anything you need in the future, just give us the command." They had finally met a big thigh, and perhaps this was their chance to rise. Su Nan paused in his steps and said, "There's no need to add friends, but if you find out where there's an emperor-level demon, you can contact me on the forum." Having said that, he no longer paid attention to them and turned to leave. Emperor-level demon. The group gasped in shock, even thinking they had heard wrong. Time passes, and in the blink of an eye, another 4 hours had gone by. In the game, the sun rose in the east, and a new day had begun. At this moment, Su Nan's avatar had already left Tianzhu City, and he hadn't immediately headed to the 2 locations indicated in his previous foreknowledge for subduing the demonic beasts. Instead, he had arrived at another ancient city. This place was one of the 3 major forces of the human race in Tianzhu province, the home of the Lingzhen Pavilion. Disguised, he turned himself into the appearance of the young man called Joey whom he had previously been. His purpose here was simple, he planned to enter the Lingzhen Pavilion to see if he could take on a task of hunting demon beasts. Chapter 421, The Limit of Chi Luck. Spirit Heart City, as the domain of the Spirit Heart Palace sect, had most of its areas open to access, allowing even players who were not members of the Spirit Heart Palace to come here. In fact, not only the Spirit Heart Palace, but all 3 major human influences in Tianzhu province followed this practice. The streets were bustling with people, and the level of prosperity was such that it was no less than that of Tianzhu City, the largest ancient city in Tianzhu province. Here, there was not only the Tiangong Pavilion but also a marketplace owned by the Spirit Heart Palace itself where players could trade with each other and even had places like auction houses. Walking leisurely in the city, Su Nan no longer had any foreknowledge times for today, but it didn't matter. With his current strength, he wasn't worried about running into trouble. Even if detected by a powerful person of the Spirit Heart Palace, they wouldn't be able to do anything to him, at most preventing him from obtaining tasks. The place where Spirit Heart Palace players collected their tasks was a building known as the Task Tower, and Su Nan followed other players there. Over 10 minutes later, he left the Task Tower. The task panel appeared before his eyes, and a new mainline task was prominently displayed. "It seems it went a bit more smoothly than expected," said Su Nan with a smile at the corner of his mouth. Without any mishaps, he walked into the task tower and smoothly received the mainline task to hunt demon beasts. Mainline task, the onset of demon catastrophe. In ancient times, demon beasts rampaged, and human experts spared no effort or expense to suppress many demonic beasts, severing their connection with the demon abyss. However, as countless years passed, the formations suppressing the demonic beasts have shown signs of damage, and demons are escaping from underneath them one after another, heralding the start of a new demon catastrophe. With demons reigning supreme and living beings suffering, as a member of the human race, you have an obligation to slay demons and guard humanity. First stage of the task, hunt 10 king-class demonic beasts. Task difficulty, 4-star. Task reward, king-level demon sutra, king-level bloodline, 60 points of demon power, 1 ancient treasure. This task was generated according to the player's realm of strength, and each realm triggered tasks of different levels. The task invoked by Zhang Yang's character had very high levels and difficulty. But even so, he shook his head at the requirements and difficulty of this task. Hunting 10 king-class demonic beasts was only rated 4-star, which would be jaw-dropping for other players if they knew. For ordinary players, hunting 1 king-class demonic beast was already a 5-star mission, let alone 4 of them. There was nothing to be done about it. Who asked him to already be king level now? Actually, the task was already quite good. You see, now, he would only get 3 stars for hunting an emperor level demon. The main quest replication card is really valuable, sighed Su Nan. Tasks duplicated by the main quest replication card retained their difficulty level. With his current king level strength, if he duplicated a 5-star mission triggered by a mortal level player, completing it would be extremely easy and the rewards wouldn't be compromised. The more he recognized the value of the main quest replication card, the less willing he was to use the last 3 cards now. He had a feeling that they would be crucial for the future. It's not bad that hunting 10 king-level demonic beasts could earn an ancient treasure, he pondered. In his universe in the sleeve, there were still 5 king-class demonic beasts, and by capturing 5 more king-level ones, an ancient treasure would be his. My incense fire aspiration force has been restored, and after accumulating for these 2 days, it even surpassed my previous level. Perhaps I can use the incense prayer technique again to influence the ancient treasure from the task reward. He possessed not a few divine weapons and ancient treasures: dragon-slaying sword, heavenly demon bone umbrella, soul-absorbing lamp, Xian Huang refining chi furnace, god-descending talisman, fishing rod of fate, life and death mirror. Each of these had their own uses. They nearly covered all aspects: attack, defense, divine soul, fate, and were very comprehensive. For a long time to come, he would have enough, but what he wanted now might be an ancient treasure that would allow him to teleport between any place at will. If he could acquire an ancient treasure that allowed him to teleport between various states, his hunting of demonic beasts would also become much more convenient. Passing by the Tiangong Pavilion, he subconsciously stopped in his tracks. Since I'm here, I might as well exchange some essence blood before leaving. With a flip of his hand, a jade bottle appeared, inside of which were 8 crystal-clear droplets of essence blood that resembled pomegranate seeds. These were 8 drops of essence blood refined from the corpses of 2 emperor-level demons. More than 10 minutes later, he left the Tiangong Pavilion. He didn't leave the ancient city immediately but instead headed towards the marketplace established by the Spirit Heart Palace for the players. After 10+ minutes, Su Nan finally left Spirit Heart City. In his personal space, there were a staggering 60,000 drops of mortal-grade essence blood and 6,000 drops of spirit-grade essence blood. And these essence bloods only cost him 2 drops of emperor-level essence blood. Yet this still wasn't sufficient. He planned to return to the Tiangong Pavilion in Tianjia City to exchange for more essence blood. 4 hours later, Su Nan left the Tiangong Pavilion in Tianjia City. As expected from the largest headquarters of the Tiangong Pavilion in Tianjia Province, the Tiangong Pavilion in Tianjia City enabled him to exchange for a staggering 80,000 drops of mortal-grade essence blood and 8,000 drops of spirit-grade essence blood. This quantity was even more than he had acquired from both the Tiangong Pavilion and the marketplace in Spirit Heart City combined. And of the 8 drops of emperor-level essence blood, 3 remained. With 140,000 drops of mortal-grade essence blood and 14,000 drops of spirit-grade essence blood, if we account simply for the power contained within, it amounts to the volume of 28 drops of emperor-level essence blood. I wonder to what level these essence bloods can upgrade the heavenly demon bone umbrella, thought Su Nan with anticipation. It was a pity he had no more foreknowledge times, otherwise, he really wanted to try it out right away in the foresight. However, only 2 hours were left until the game refresh. Not just waiting around, Su Nan made his way to the 2 locations where the emperor-level demonic beasts were suppressed. 2 hours later, time reached midnight in reality. The game refreshed. 3 characters' tasks appeared before him. Compared to yesterday, today the 3 characters' tasks hadn't changed much. The ones that could be completed were still those few tasks: 2 for hunting demon beasts, 2 for hunting demonic emperors, 1 for rescuing a demon beast, and Lang 13's task of obtaining a ranking in the Heavenly Demon Grand Ceremony. In Dongchen State, Su Nan's true body stood on the arena, looking at the youth opposite him with a calm expression. The person facing him was none other than Long Yunhan from the Silver Dragon race. "I really didn't see Lang Wu brother wrong," Long Yunhan said with a smile looking at Su Nan. "Who would have thought that the last one able to battle me would be Lang Wu brother? Today was the last day of selection for the Heavenly Demon Grand Ceremony, and it would ultimately determine who would be first. Actually, being first didn't come with any special rewards, as it was the same as the other top 10, merely qualifying to enter the Demon Clan ancestral land. But this was a matter of honor, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, the best chance for the various races' geniuses to make a name for themselves. And for Su Nan, this was merely a requirement of the task. If it weren't for needing to complete a task, he didn't wish to be so ostentatious. What luck has this Skywolf clan stumbled upon to bring out such a dark horse? Although Long Yunhan is mighty, this Lang Wu is even more outrageous, as if he has no limits. None of his previous opponents could withstand 10 moves against him. This time, first place is likely his to claim. The onlooking demons whispered quietly. Su Nan's every move over the past few days had astonished them, and nobody had expected such a monstrous emergence this time. In the distance, numerous demonic emperors had come, wanting to witness today's final battle. The Skywolf clan's demonic emperor was astounded, never expecting that the little guy his daughter had brought back would be so strong, capable of sweeping through the geniuses of all clans. The most shocked, though, was Hu Xiaotian. Nobody knew Su Nan better than him. When Su Nan had helped him escape the entanglement of the demonic thought, he had only just entered the spirit level. It had only been 2 or 3 months, and Su Nan had already grown to such an extent, giving him the feeling of being in a dream. Compared to Su Nan, he sadly realized, the talent he had been so proud of was worth nothing in front of Su Nan. Demon Saint. My brother will definitely become a Demon Saint in the future. The final battle wasn't much to look at, first place was already destined. Congratulations, you have completed the daily task. Obtain first place in the Heavenly Demon Grand Ceremony, 45 demon power points have been awarded. A quarter of an hour later, the match was over, the task was completed, and 45 points of demon power were credited. Then, to Su Nan's surprise, another prompt popped up. Congratulations, you have obtained the first place in the Heavenly Demon Grand Ceremony, your demon race's luck has increased by 1000 points. 1000 points of demon race's luck. Su Nan was delighted, not expecting such benefits from achieving first place. After a brief moment of thought, he understood that this was probably the effect of the Child of Destiny task. Meanwhile, in Tianjia province, his avatar had also located the first suppressed demonic beast. Congratulations, you have completed the daily task Rescue a Demonic Beast, 60 points of demon power have been awarded. Another 60 points of demon power were credited, and yet that was just the beginning. Congratulations, you have completed the daily task Hunt a Demonic Beast, 60 points of demon power have been awarded. Congratulations, you have completed the daily task Hunt an Emperor level demon, 60 points of demon power have been awarded. 2 demonic beasts, 2 demonic emperors were slain. All in all, several tasks together netted 345 demon power points. The available fortune reached a new high of 1745 points. The demon power was enough for an ordinary player to leap from mortal level directly to Xian level. Now he could finally raise his life wheel scripture to the 4th layer. Su Nan wasn't in a hurry to elevate the life wheel scripture but instead quickly assimilated the power he had devoured within his body. After devouring 1 emperor level demonic beast, the sky demon devouring God Sutra grew slightly. And as for the power of 2 emperor level demons, just using the power from one of them, he was able to achieve bloodline great perfection from minor achievement. At present, as long as he continued to fuse bloodlines, he could raise one bloodline to great accomplishment. In terms of fortune, Su Nan was surprised to find that his fortune had anomalies. 2 demonic beasts, 1 emperor level and 1 king level, totaled 600 points of chi luck, while 2 demonic emperors together accounted for 400 points of chi luck, which added up to exactly 1000 points of chi luck. Including his original 4000 points, Su Nan's total chi luck should have been exactly 5000 points. But now, on the panel, Wang Nan's total chi luck was 4999 points. 1 point of chi luck was missing. What's going on? Why is there 1 point of chi luck missing? Su Nan wondered. There was no corresponding notification on the panel, so he had to find the problem himself. The racial luck ranking list appeared before his eyes, and at this moment, his ranking had surprisingly entered the top 100, reaching 97th. In front of him were many who were at the peak emperor level, and they all had 4999 points of chi luck. Could it be that 4999 points of chi luck is the limit for emperor level chi luck, and without breaking through to saint level, chi luck can't increase further. Su Nan immediately thought of a possibility, and couldn't help but feel disheartened. If the limit of chi luck below the saint level was indeed 4,999 points, did that mean that he couldn't gain any more chi luck by devouring demonic beasts and demons until he broke through to saint level? With this thought, he immediately looked at the available chi luck. Thankfully, there was no issue with the available chi luck. His previously available chi luck was 2,000 points exact, and with the addition of the current 1,000 points of chi luck, he should have 3,000 points. After that, he had used 200 points of chi luck to perform the Art of Fate, leaving him with 2,800 points of available chi luck, and there was no issue of a missing point. It doesn't matter if the total chi luck doesn't grow anymore, as long as the available chi luck is not affected, he thought. Of course, just to be safe, he still wanted to verify it once more. A king-level demonic beast was released by him, and the god and demon Sky Devour was performed. Soon, his available chi luck increased by 100 points, while the total chi luck remained the same. It seems my guess was correct. Su Nan let out a sigh of relief. After using another 100 points of chi luck to perform the Art of Fate, he then looked again at Wang Nan's racial luck ranking. Previously, he was only concerned with finding the problem and hadn't paid close attention to the ranking list. Now that he took a good look, his expression couldn't help but change repeatedly. Players can view the rankings of the 100 above and below themselves. Now that his chi luck has entered the top 100, it means he can now see the most powerful beings of the demon race. First place, name, unknown, realm, unknown, racial luck, unknown. Second place, name, unknown, realm, unknown, racial luck, unknown. Third place, name, unknown, realm, unknown, racial luck, unknown. Name unknown. Realm unknown. Racial luck unknown. Su Nan was astonished. What did this mean? It meant that not even the game could detect those existences. There were as many as 6 such existences until the 7th name, when the situation finally changed. 7th place, name, unknown, realm, peak god level, racial luck, 15,648. 8th place, name, unknown, realm, late god level, racial luck, 14,334. Although the names were still unknown, the realm and racial luck were now displayed. Innate demon gods. Those 6 existences with unknown names and realms must be the legendary innate demon gods, Su Nan considered a possibility. This possibility was considerable. It seems only the few innate demon gods, which existed since the birth of the demon abyss, would have such prestige. Continuing to look down, it was only at the 15th place that a peak saint level finally appeared. It was also here that names finally began to show up on the ranking list. 14. The entire demon race has a total of 14 at the god level. Su Nan couldn't help but inhale sharply. The number far exceeded his imagination. Looking further at the saint level, from the 15th spot all the way to the 73rd was when it transitioned to peak emperor level, and from there to Wang Nan's position, they were all peak emperor level with 4,999 points of chi luck. 58 names. The entire demon race had a total of 58 at the saint level. Is this the foundation of the demonic beasts? Chapter 422. Foreknowledge hint. 14 god level, 58 saint level. If the foundation of this demon race were to be made public, it would probably shock countless people to the point of jaw-dropping. Fortunately, those demon beasts are trapped in the demon abyss and cannot leave, otherwise, both the game world and the real world would inevitably fall under the complete control of the demons. The heavenly race can keep sending out saint-level experts, so they must have god-level ones too, but I wonder if their experts are stronger or weaker compared to this demon race. Su Nan couldn't help but think, of course, these things are not of much relevance to him at present. Even if the heavenly race and demon race were to descend at the same time, they would not necessarily confront each other, and the ones who would surely suffer would be the humans. Looking back at demon power, the personal information panel appeared before his eyes, and his gaze fell on the life wheel scripture. Would you like to spend 1500 demon power points to elevate the life wheel scripture to the 4th layer? 1500 demon power points in the end, only exchanged for an ability that temporarily enhances good fortune. To be honest, it seems somewhat uneconomical. But there was no choice, the life wheel scripture was the foundation of his struggle against the heavenly race. Without the life wheel scripture, he couldn't possibly withstand the power of fate from the heavenly race. Yes. Without any hesitation, Sunan directly chose to elevate it. As 1500 demon power points were consumed, the life wheel scripture spun rapidly, and at that moment, the huge illusory wheel of fate inside his body seemed to solidify from illusion, swiftly becoming clear. Congratulations, your life wheel scripture has been elevated to the 4th layer, realm elevation restrictions lifted. The realm elevation restrictions that were lifted were those preventing him from breaking through to king level without having all 3 roles bloodlines at perfection. To cultivate the life wheel scripture, without reaching the corresponding level in the life wheel scripture, one could break through only if all 3 roles bloodlines were at great perfection. It must be said, this restriction was lifted somewhat late. Fortunately, it didn't have too much impact on Sunan. Only, such a restriction would come again when he tried to break through to Emperor level. He then looked at the new effects added to the life wheel scripture. Effect 1, Life Stealing. Effect 2, Stealing Heaven. Effect 3, Heavenly Luck. Effect 4, Fate Tribulation. Effect 5, Chi Luck Transfer. Chi Luck Transfer. The new ability added to the life wheel scripture was called Chi Luck Transfer. There was no need to discuss this ability much, it had already clearly told him its function during the foreknowledge. It exchanges racial chi luck for temporary good fortune. The more chi luck is consumed, the longer the good fortune lasts, and the better the effects. His gaze fell again on the life wheel scripture, and 2 prompts popped up. Would you like to spend 3000 demon power points to elevate the life wheel scripture to the 5th level? You do not have enough demon power to continue elevating. 3000 points. To elevate the life wheel scripture to the 5th level, 3000 demon power points are needed. Thank goodness, it's only doubled. Sunan let out a sigh of relief. Previously, to elevate from the 2nd level to the 3rd level, only 500 demon power points were needed. However, to go from the 3rd level to the 4th layer, it took 1500 points, which was 3 times more. Now, to elevate from the 4th layer to the 5th level, it only doubled, which was considered less. After completing the elevation of the life wheel scripture, there were still 245 demon power points displayed on the panel. Sunan flipped his hand and took out 3 drops of essence and blood and 3 parts of the Demon Sutra. These 3 drops of essence and blood belonged to the Physique series, Secret Power System, and Law Controlling class, all of which were ancient demon essence blood, extracted from 4 demons that had undergone bloodline regression in the real world. He planned to fuse these 3 portions of bloodline now. All 3 roles bloodlines had already reached great perfection, and furthermore, he also had a portion of power swallowed from the demonic emperor within his body. If he did not fuse the bloodlines now, the swallowed power would have nowhere to be stored. After taking the river of time water, the bloodlines within my body have basically fused with me, so now, fusing ordinary bloodlines should not pose any problems. But ordinary bloodlines simply can't compare with this ancient demon bloodline. Having grown accustomed to fusing ancient demon bloodlines and seeing the enhancements they brought, he naturally looked down on continuing to fund ordinary bloodlines. Of course, to be on the safe side, he still wanted to foresee it first. Looking at the number of foreknowledge times on the panel, he had a thought and took out the Xianhuang refining chi furnace alongside the piece of the sun's meteoric essence he had obtained, planning to foreknow them together. According to previous foresight, today that person from the heavenly race will start to make a move against me, and now the racial luck of my 3 characters combined amounts to over 5,000. But in the previous foresight, this amount of luck wasn't enough to deal with that expert from the heavenly race. After mulling it over, he flipped his hand and took out another item. It was the fishing rod of fate. He planned to use the fishing rod of fate in this foresight session to see the effects. After all, this was an ancient treasure capable of affecting the domain of fate. Maybe its effects could far exceed the art of fate, right? The use of the fishing rod of fate requires fulfilling one of 3 conditions: see, listen, or call. Luckily, through causality, he could know the name of the person making the move, thus fulfilling the conditions for using the fishing rod of fate. The use of the fishing rod of fate consumes chi luck and lifespan. I wonder what would happen if I were to use an avatar to execute it. An idea popped into Sunan's mind. An avatar is a demon, and the lifespan of demons seems to be limitless. With this thought, a sharp glint appeared in his eyes. If this plan worked, he undoubtedly found a bug for using the fishing rod of fate. The foresight session began. However, to his dismay, this time it only consumed 10 foreknowledge opportunities. With 3 bloodlines at great perfection, you plan to continue fusing new bloodlines. 2 hours later, you successfully fuse 3 new bloodlines, your strength surges, and then you place the stone known as the sun's meteoric essence into the Xianhuang refining qi furnace to smelt. 6 hours later, smelting is complete, the Xianhuang refining qi furnace opens, and you suddenly see a strand of golden flame, understanding that it is the origin of the sun's fire. Faced with the origin of the sun's fire, your Li fire essence stirs within you, and at the same time, you discover that your great sun golden body scripture also spins rapidly, vaguely attracted. You realize that this strand of sun's fire origin has great benefits for both your Li fire essence and your great sun golden body scripture. After hesitating for a moment, you decide to use this strand of sun's fire origin to enhance your great sun golden body scripture. 10 hours later, after fully refining the sun's fire origin, your great sun golden body scripture has greatly improved, and only 1/5 of the progress remains before reaching the perfection of the second level. It can actually enhance the progress of the great sun golden body scripture. This was indeed an unexpected joy. Since the great sun golden body scripture had entered the second level, the progress had slowed down. This was not because the speed of cultivation had slowed, but because the amount of demon power needed had increased. Each speed boost that initially needed 50 points of demon power increased to 100 points. In order to accumulate demon power, Sunan hadn't used demon power to speed up his cultivation during this period. At present, the progress of the Great Sun Golden Body scripture was directly elevated to only having the last 20% remaining. In this way, this strand of Sun's fire origin had saved him 600 or 700 points of demon power. 12 hours later, you know that soon another race's powerful person will take action against you. You look at the cause and effect line on your body and wait quietly. A minute later, nothing unusual happens. 2 minutes later, you finally see a huge cause and effect line appear on your body, and you decisively take out the fishing rod of fate, attempting to let your avatar use the fishing rod of fate to fish for the opponent's destiny. 3 minutes later, in the instant of using the fishing rod of fate, 50 years of your lifespan are consumed. However, your chi luck is insufficient to fish for the opponent's destiny, and you die. Before death, you realize that with your current chi luck, it is simply impossible to fish for the destiny of a saint-level expert with just the art of fate or just by using the fishing rod of fate. Perhaps you could try combining the art of fate with the fishing rod of fate. As expected, he failed. However, Sunan was not only not disappointed but also revealed a hint of joy in his eyes. He was lucky that this prediction actually gave him a hint. Combine the art of fate with the fishing rod of fate. His eyes shone with a sharp light, and after a brief consideration, Sunan understood why combining these two methods would be more effective. The effect of the art of fate is to make the tribulations in the opponent's fate arrive earlier, amplifying the magnitude of the tribulations. Normally, if someone's fate doesn't have an impending tribulation in the short term, it's naturally very difficult to make a tribulation descend upon them, not to mention if the opponent is a saint-level expert. But if someone were to use the fishing rod of fate to attack on a fate level at that moment, this would undoubtedly be a tribulation for that person. This tribulation might be minor or insignificant to the person being attacked, but if combined with the effects of the art of fate at that moment, it would undoubtedly increase the power of the destined tribulation. It might even produce an effect greater than the sum of the parts. Having figured this out, Sunan couldn't wait to predict again immediately. Prediction begins. This time, 44 knowledge opportunities are consumed. Just 2 days of time. With the bloodline great perfection of 3 bloodlines, you plan to continue fusing a new bloodline. 6 hours later, as you knew would happen, an unknown powerful person makes a move against you, and a cause and effect related to the attacker appears on your body. You decisively consume chi luck, employ the art of fate, and at the same time, have your avatar use the fishing rod of fate to fish for the destiny of that unknown existence. The use of the fishing rod of fate instantly consumes all your demon race luck and 50 years of lifespan, while your true body employs the art of fate and consumes 1000 points of the demon race's luck. With the effectiveness of the art of fate, congratulations, you have successfully fished the destiny of a saint-level expert. I've succeeded. Sunan was thrilled. This success seemed a bit too easy, almost unbelievable to him. Adding this one, that makes it the second saint-level expert to die by his hand. If the previously revived, half-crippled member of the 8-winged celestial clan by the Destiny Society were included, that would make 3. However, before he could breathe a sigh of relief, the subsequent foreknowledge again caused his face to darken. You don't know that although you have successfully fished for the opponent's destiny, their attack has not ceased as a result. What's going on? The attack hasn't stopped? Does that mean the scythe that was aiming to strike me in the previous prediction will continue to do so even without someone controlling it? Su Nan's heart sank. If that was truly the case, then wouldn't all his efforts have been in vain? Nevertheless, he soon relaxed again. Since waiting for that heavenly clan expert to make a move before acting won't solve the problem, I'll just take care of it before they have a chance to act. A ruthless look appeared in Su Nan's eyes. At present, he already knew how to deal with the heavenly clan expert and could take action in advance. If the information from Death's foresight hadn't been so vague, without the name of that heavenly clan expert, he would have acted right now. But this wasn't an issue, it was merely a matter of sooner or later. The normal prediction, which occurred every 3 minutes, was more detailed compared to Death's foresight. There was a high probability he would learn the opponent's name through it. He could completely predict the name of the heavenly clan expert before they made their move, through the normal prediction that occurred every 3 minutes, and then use the fishing rod of fate to establish causality with the opponent and execute the art of fate. The question is, after I kill a saint-level expert from their side, will the heavenly race continue to send others after me? If they continue to send others, that would be troublesome. In a short time, I won't be able to accumulate another 4,000 or 5,000 chi luck. The premonition was far from over. He continued to read further. The breakthrough in your life wheel scripture has given you the confidence to resist the curse of the ancient desolate ruins. You control your avatar to enter the depths of the ancient desolate ruins, following the roars that occasionally come through until you find a cave. You know there is a group of outsiders in this cave, and you dare not be careless. You use universe in the sleeve the moment you enter. Your sudden move leaves those outsiders no chance to react, and you successfully collect all of them into your universe in the sleeve. You know there is a great terror deep within the cave, and you dare not explore further, choosing to leave the ancient desolate ruins immediately. 7 hours later, you leave the ancient desolate relic, unaware that you have just missed an opportunity to enhance your life wheel scripture. Hey? An opportunity to enhance the life wheel scripture. Su Nan was taken aback, not expecting such a hint from the prediction. Could this be referring to the resentful spirit of the ancient wilderness sect master, the one who supposedly knows a method to quickly enhance the life wheel scripture? The sect master of the ancient wilderness sect also seemed to practice the life wheel scripture. If there truly were an opportunity to enhance it, it would certainly be with him. At this thought, Su Nan's eyes lit up once again. It took a whopping 3,000 demon power to advance from the 5th to the 6th level of the life wheel scripture. This amount of demon power was enough for an ordinary player to advance from mortal level to emperor level. If there was a way to quickly enhance the life wheel scripture or reduce the demon power consumption, that would undoubtedly be a good thing, and he would certainly try to get it. Of course, there was also another possibility. Perhaps, there is no method on the resentful spirit of that ancient wilderness sect master to enhance the life wheel scripture, and the prediction is hinting at this because of God and Demon Sky Devour. The prediction is hinting at me using God and Demon Sky Devour to devour the resentful spirit of that ancient wilderness sect master, thereby enhancing the life wheel scripture. Earlier, he had speculated that devouring someone practicing ancient scriptures might enhance those scriptures. If his speculation was correct, then using God and Demon Sky Devour to consume the resentful spirit left by that sect master of the ancient wilderness sect could indeed have the potential to enhance the life wheel scripture. Moreover, it might allow his life wheel scripture to break through continuously, reaching a remarkably high level. After all, the sect master's progress in practicing the life wheel scripture far exceeded his imagination. If the sect master was assumed to be a god-level expert, then his life wheel scripture's progress might have reached the 7th level. Even if the sect master's resentful spirit only possessed saint-level strength, devouring it could make his life wheel scripture soar. The issue, however, was that the sect master's resentful spirit had saint-level strength. What would he use to devour it? It would be fortunate enough if he wasn't devoured by it in one bite. Chapter 423. Make a move in advance. The foreknowledge prompt tempted Su Nan. The life wheel scripture's enhancement was of great help to him. If he could advance it further, he would not be as passive as he is now when facing the heavenly race's moves. No matter which possibility, as long as there is a chance, I always have to try. With that thought, Su Nan quickly made up his mind. He decided that once he resolved the crisis posed by the heavenly race and the issues at the demon clan ancestral land, he would find a way to challenge the master of the ancient wilderness sect. At present, the issues with the heavenly race and the demon clan ancestral land were still awaiting him, so he did not have the luxury of wasting foreknowledge opportunities here. He continued to look into foreknowledge. 3 days later, after some twists and turns, you finally arrive at the entrance of the Heavenly Demon Inheritance's stone hall. The moment you enter the hall, you fall into a deep sleep. A minute later, you are awakened by 3 children. You realize that you have entered the first regret of the Heavenly Demon. To obtain the Heavenly Demon's inheritance, you must complete its 3 regrets. In your eyes, to complete this first regret, you must ensure the safety of the tribe where the Heavenly Demon resided, protect them from the ravage of the fierce beast. One day later, standing on a large rock and gazing into the distance, you vaguely see a tribe far away. Ignoring the 3 children, you quickly run towards the tribe, wanting to bring back the news as soon as possible. 2 minutes later, you have run a kilometer. Looking back, you see the other 3 children continuing towards a mountain ravine. 3 minutes later, you failed to pass the test, and you died. Foreknowledge ended in a way that surprised Sunan. He hadn't encountered danger, yet he somehow failed inexplicably. Those 3 children died, and the test is considered a failure. He was not confused but instantly understood what had happened. Obviously, he had run away, but the 3 children continued towards the ravine where the giant python was, according to the story, and unsurprisingly died in the end. Perhaps those 3 children were the Heavenly Demon's good friends when he was young, a part of his regrets. The death of the 3 children also meant the failure of the test. Sure enough, Long Yunhan and those other folks have hidden a lot from me, not telling me everything. It seems that simply relocating the tribe where the Heavenly Demon resided is not enough, perhaps not even a single casualty can occur. He did not doubt that the method given to him by the others was false. After all, the map was not made up on the spot. They couldn't have made a fake map just to mislead him. Looking at foreknowledge again, he shook his head slightly. This time I died too quickly. Originally, he planned to see whether he could use items from his personal space in the dream realm. This would help him deduce whether he could use foreknowledge in the dream realm. But because he died too quickly, he had no chance to try many things. There was no helping it, he could only continue next time. 2 foreknowledge attempts used up 49 foreknowledge opportunities. The perfection of Wang Nan's bloodline gave him 3 more foreknowledge opportunities. His total number of daily foreknowledge attempts has now reached 122. If he continues, he can foresee at least once more. However, he did not continue. Rather than foreknowing now, he would wait until just before the game refreshed to do so. At that time, he could save quite a number of foreknowledge attempts. Let's start with blood fusion first, he decided. Looking at the 3 types of bloodlines in his hands, he began the fusion. As foreseen, although the fusion of the king-level bloodlines took longer, the process went very smoothly. 1 hour later, he had completed the fusion of the 3 bloodlines. Unfortunately, he didn't know whether it was because the effect of his racial talent had reached its limit or because the 3 bloodlines, although ancient demon bloodlines, did not come from a powerful demon beast. The blood fusion, besides giving him the ability to manipulate the power of heaven and earth on a greater scale, only increased his base strength, without adding any new talent effects. This is already quite good, much better than merging with common bloodlines, he was content. Without the game's maul, acquiring powerful ancient demon bloodlines would be very difficult for him. After finishing these tasks, he continued with his plan, beginning to refine that piece of Sun's fire essence. Meanwhile, in Tianjia province, his avatar also started moving towards another location inhabited by demon beasts. That little guy's fate has changed again. This occurred just as Sunan achieved the 4th layer of the life wheel scripture. In the chaos. In the world of the heavenly race, on that high tower still standing at the center of the world, like a lighthouse, the old man known as the high priest discovered something new, furrowing his brows. At his side, the 6-winged woman asked in surprise, "Could it be that person has found a way to evade us?" The old man slightly shook his head but did not answer. His gaze shifted slightly, as if looking through the void at the invisible river of destiny. For some reason, at that moment, he had a bad premonition. He attempted to find the source of this odd sensation. However, for a long time, he could not determine where this unusual feeling originated from. "We can't wait any longer. Have Xiaolu prepare. Start as soon as possible. Delays can lead to changes," he instructed. 8 hours passed in the blink of an eye. In Dongchen state, Sunan's body shimmered with golden light. At this moment, his flesh seemed to be forged from gold, radiating brilliant light from the inside out. Feeling the changes in his body, Sunan's eyes showed delight. He had already fused with that trace of the origin of the sun's fire, greatly advancing the great sun golden body scripture, attaining 80% completion. The remaining 20%, if he wished, could be completed in 2 days' time. The search for the blood fire Lingzi must be hastened. Su Nan's eyes revealed satisfaction as the golden light receded. To enter the 3rd floor of the great sun golden body scripture, one required 500 drops of Xian stage demon beast essence blood and the golden leaf spirit ginseng. The essence blood was not a problem, but the blood fire Lingzi was a spirit object. Even in ancient times its rarity surpassed that of the golden leaf spirit ginseng, invaluable indeed. When his avatar was in Tiangong Pavilion in Tianjua province, he had attempted to purchase blood fire Lingzi, but contrary to his expectations, there wasn't any blood fire Lingzi, let alone any information related to it at Tiangong Pavilion. Players still have good things in their possession. I wonder if they have any blood fire Lingzi. With a thought, World Chat appeared before his eyes, and he immediately sought to purchase blood fire Lingzi using Wang Nan's identity in World Chat. Blood fire Lingzi? What is that? Judging by the name, it should be a type of spirit object. What does deity Wang Nan need that for? No sooner had the message been sent than it attracted the attention of countless players. However, after watching for a moment, Su Nan was disappointed to find not a single person knew what blood fire Lingzi was, let alone produce any. He sighed somewhat disheartened. If all else fails, I'll just have to try influencing the task rewards with chi luck. Checking the time, in reality, it was now 10 o'clock in the morning, not much time left until the Heavenly Clan expert would make a move as foreseen. The time is almost up. I can't wait any longer. To be on the safe side, he decided to exercise foreknowledge a bit earlier. A foreknowledge opportunity was consumed, and information flickered rapidly on the panel. You know that before long, a powerful person of the heavenly race will make a move against you. You cannot afford to be careless and are prepared to counter-strike at any moment. A minute later, you haven't detected anything unusual. 3 minutes later, there still aren't any new cause and effect lines on you. End of the first prediction. Do you wish to continue? Yes. There wasn't much to see next. As soon as the first prediction ended, a second one began immediately. The process wasn't long, and by the 10th prediction, he had found the information he was looking for. 2 minutes later, you suddenly notice a new cause and effect line on you. It's with a powerful person named Tian Lu. You react swiftly, decisively expending chi luck to use the art of fate, while your avatar quickly engages the fishing rod of fate to fish for the destiny of the one named Tian Lu. Using the fishing rod of fate, you instantaneously spend all of the demon race luck and 50 years of lifespan. Simultaneously, your true body uses the art of fate, consuming 1000 points of the demon race's luck. The effect of the art of fate takes hold. Congratulations, you have successfully fished for the destiny of a saint-level expert. The second prediction was also successful with no surprises. Tian Lu. Su Nan's eyes gleamed with sharp light. Without hesitation, he immediately prepared to make a move. In the land where the heavenly race resides, several figures watched the stone platform a few miles away from the huge tower at the central part of the continent with reverent expressions. Behind these few, there remarkably were 4 pairs of wings. On the stone platform before them, a black scythe was unmistakably embedded. One middle-aged man said, looking at the scythe, the high priest has somewhat overdone it this time. The kid indeed wields some power of the destiny of our heavenly race, but it's only skin deep. Upon hearing this, another agreed, this Reaper's scythe is one of the 3 holy artifacts of our heavenly race. Since it was damaged tens of thousands of years ago, it has not been repaired and can be barely used 3 more times. It's a bit wasteful to use it against that kid now. A man with white temples interjected, still, we should not underestimate him. The little guy made Xiao Ba trip up last time, he should not be taken lightly. The middle-aged man who spoke before countered, Xiao Ba was just too cocky. Time and space are not our heavenly race's strong suites. It was normal for an accident to happen when he attempted to use it to isolate causality. In my opinion, it would be sufficient for the high priest to simply create a small ripple in the river of fate, which would be enough to drown that ant. The man with white temples shook his head. Do you think the river of fate can be disturbed at will? Although we of the heavenly race wield the power of fate, we can merely use it, not truly control it. The river of fate connects to the myriad heavens and realms, containing great causality and involving numerous taboos. Even the high priest, with his insights into creation, dares not lightly interfere with the river of fate. Seemingly all mindful of the taboo regarding the river of fate, the group fell silent, no longer discussing the topic. After a while, the middle-aged man spoke up, "What a pity, we're still too far from that world right now. Otherwise, for a king-level ant, I have thousands of ways to crush him." Another person said, "That kid has a fragment of our heavenly race's other sacred artifact, the life and death mirror. We must find a way to retrieve it." The man with streaks of white at his temples glanced at the towering structure, then turned his gaze to the scythe on the stone platform ahead and said, "Stop talking. We're mostly prepared, the Reaper's scythe can now be activated." The middle-aged man nodded, his figure flashed, and he instantly appeared in front of the stone platform. He reached out his hand, about to grab the scythe. However, just at that moment, a huge invisible hook shot out from the endless space beyond, directly targeting the middle-aged man in front of the stone platform. Sensing something amiss, the middle-aged man suddenly turned to look, and upon seeing the invisible giant hook, he couldn't help but snort coldly. "Humph!" The middle-aged man's expression remained unchanged, even showing disdain in his eyes for the suddenly attacking giant hook. However, before he could make a move, the next moment, his face abruptly changed color. A sense of crisis he had never felt before descended upon him. In an instant, faced with the giant hook, he found himself utterly powerless to resist. Not good. The other two also noticed the anomaly and immediately tried to intervene. Unfortunately, their response was one step too late. The giant hook pierced straight through the middle-aged man, and the next moment, the hook retracted, while the middle-aged man collapsed on the ground as if his divine soul had been extracted, silently losing all signs of life. Tianlu. The two others were shocked, and at the same time, an old man with white hair and a youthful face appeared. This old man was none other than the high priest. The high priest looked at the lifeless corpse of the middle-aged man, his face extremely somber, finally understanding where that uneasy feeling had come from earlier. "Tianlu is dead. How is this possible? Who was it? Who just attacked?" The other two, looking at the corpse of the middle-aged man, and even though they were saint-level experts with immense power, couldn't help but reveal looks of shock. The high priest spoke gravely, "It was that little guy. That ant? How is it possible? Where did he get the ability to kill Tianlu?" The two exchanged glances, incredulous. In their information, Su Nan was merely at king level, maybe with some unique methods, but he definitely could not contend with saint level. Last time, Xiao Bei met his end because he was counteracted by the heaven and earth. But this time, Tianlu had not even made a move yet and was preemptively attacked by the other party, and without a chance to resist, was slain. They couldn't understand how Su Nan, a king-level being, managed to do this. The high priest said, "That was something the human clan created in ancient times to counter our heavenly race." He frowned, "Strange, using that thing requires a heavy toll on one's chi luck and lifespan. Where did that little guy get so much chi luck from?" The man with graying temples said angrily, "That damned ant, daring to inflict such losses on our heavenly race twice. When I personally descend, I will make him pay a price 100, 1,000 times over." The other turned to the high priest and said, "Lord priest, we can't wait any longer. That ant has gained momentum, we can't let him grow further. Since we've already pinpointed that world, why hold any further reservations? Let's use that thing and allow some of our clansmen to descend in advance." The high priest looked at the corpse of the middle-aged man and after a moment of silence said, "So be it, it is time to use that thing." The death of the middle-aged man had evidently provoked them, and they had now decided to eliminate Su Nan at any cost. Of this, Su Nan remained unaware. At the moment, he was feeling somewhat pained. Chapter 424. 3,900 points of demon race luck, 1,000 points of demon clan's luck, totaling near 5,000 points of chi luck consumption. It would take the devouring of no less than 10 emperor-level demonic beasts to replenish this. Fortunately, he had practiced the life wheel scripture, which allowed him to consume available fortune without depleting his overall chi luck. If it were someone else, they would have consumed their total chi luck instead. What would happen if one's luck decreased by 5,000 points all at once? Su Nan didn't know, but he was certain the outcome would definitely not be good. It was entirely a case of killing 1,000 enemies while losing 800 of one's own. Besides, there was also the consumption of lifespan. Originally, I wanted to exploit the identity of a demon beast to glitch out the fishing rod of fate, but now it seems I was thinking too much. 50 years of lifespan. For him, who cultivated ancient scriptures and had 3 avatars all at king level, this lifespan actually wasn't much. Indeed, at present, neither his avatars nor his true body showed any obvious changes. However, at the moment he used the fishing rod of fate, he clearly felt something abstract being drawn out from within him. That was lifespan. No, the identity of the demon beast must have had an effect. At the instant my lifespan began to peel away, I also sensed another force resisting the stripping away of my lifespan. That was the power of the demon abyss. Without that power, the lifespan I consumed would definitely not have been just 50 years, but much, much more. Reflecting carefully on the changes in his body the moment he used the fishing rod of fate, he keenly perceived something unusual. He could faintly sense that at the instant he used the fishing rod of fate, some mysterious power within him surged out like a collapsed dam's floodwaters. Fortunately, such conditions only lasted for an instant before the power of the demon abyss arrived, acting like a sluice gate had been dropped, ultimately allowing only a small part of the waters to flow through that gate. A 50-year lifespan, it shouldn't be a big deal. Dealing with a saint level was hardly easy, and the fact that he could fish for the opponent's fate with just 5,000 points of chi luck was nothing short of a miracle. Keep in mind, he was only king level. A king level, spanning an unknown distance, killing a saint level out of thin air, such a feat, if told, would likely drop jaws everywhere. Such achievements could be said to be unparalleled, neither preceded nor followed by any. Su Nan didn't know how many years he had left to live, but he was certain it was several hundred years at least. Besides, he wasn't without means of replenishment. With a flip of his hand, a purple fruit resembling a furry peach appeared in it. Longevity fruit, a spirit object that grows in a peculiar place. Upon consumption, it randomly increases lifespan by 10 to 30 years. This was the reward from the final ranking of the 12 zodiac the last time, which he had not consumed since obtaining it. Now was the opportunity. A random increase in lifespan, that should be easy to handle. This time, after acting, his demon race luck was nearly exhausted, and there were only 300 points of demon clan's luck and 300 points of human clan's luck left. He didn't hesitate, consuming 100 points of the demon clan's luck. He immediately used a luck transfer technique to obtain a brief period of good fortune. The strength and duration of the acquired good luck were directly related to the amount of chi luck consumed. 100 points of luck wasn't much, but it was sufficient. At this moment his luck was strong, and even without the luck transfer technique, several attempts would likely maximize the effect of the longevity fruit. A foreknowledge opportunity was consumed, and without surprises, in the foreknowledge, he consumed the longevity fruit and his lifespan increased by 30 years. Seeing this, Su Nan immediately consumed the longevity fruit. There was no particular sensation, as if he had eaten an ordinary peach. Only upon close feeling did he find something in his body increasing abstractly. The powerful person named Tianlu is dealt with, but it remains unknown if the heavenly race will let other powerful individuals take action. If the heavenly race continues to send other powerful persons at this time, then I can only hide my true body in the game and not come out. Ignoring the changes brought about by the longevity fruit, Su Nan immediately quit the game to return to reality. Death's foresight began at once. This time, 30 foreknowledge opportunities were consumed. Fortunately, until the end of the foresight, although he died in the game, he didn't see that scythe appear again. Good, the heavenly race didn't continue to take action. Su Nan breathed a sigh of relief. Yet another saint level had fallen into his hands this time. It was certain the heavenly race would not give up, and might even employ stronger methods. But at least for now, for the next 1.5 days, there should be no problems. As for what comes afterward, he couldn't take care of that now. He didn't log into the game immediately. Su Nan picked up his phone to log into the forum to check the changes in the various states today. In the northern ice province, the demon catastrophe has further erupted, and the demonic beasts from the perpetual frozen glacier have begun to expand outward. The domains of the human and demon clans are widely invaded, transformed into demon domains. It's not just the human clan, the demon clan has also taken action. Huangjua province also faces a crisis with a peak emperor-level demonic beast. A mysterious village called Seal Demon Village has surfaced, and it is said that a former demon god is suppressed beneath the village, and now that demonic beast is about to free itself. The Great Yu Imperial City in Dongchen State is in imminent danger. The demonic beast suppressed beneath the Imperial City could break free at any moment. The Great Yu dynasty has called for powerful individuals from the 3 sects and 6 religions and is prepared for battle with the demonic beast. Upon opening the forum, the first thing that caught his eye was the demon catastrophe situation in the various states. The headache for the various states was no longer ordinary demonic beasts, but peak emperor-level demonic beasts. Of the 12 states, half have shown signs of peak emperor-level demonic beast activities. However, for players, the current impact is not very significant. The appearance of demon beasts naturally causes the most headaches for the various major forces of the human race. In ancient times, many of these demon beasts were suppressed by human experts. Now that they have broken free, they naturally seek revenge on the human race, followed by the demon clan. Players are too weak and, having witnessed the terror of demonic chi, many choose to stay far away from it, which ironically minimizes their impact. Seal Demon Village. Sunan noticed the situation in Huangjue province and was somewhat surprised. Because he knew of this place, he had visited Huangjue province once in a foreknowledge when he entered Tianjue province through a space rift, and the place where he arrived was exactly a village named Seal Demon Village. Apart from the topic of demon beasts, there were more discussions about inheritance relics on the forum. 10 more lucky ones in Tianjue province have obtained the inheritance of the Gi sect, gaining not only ancient scriptures but also an increase of 300 points of chi luck. A new ancient relic has also appeared in Xianju province, which seems to be tailor-made for us players, only spirit level can enter. In Northern Ice province, Great God Caesar has obtained the inheritance of an ancient mighty one, increasing his chi luck by 1,000 points, surpassing God Lu Di and ranking just below God Zhang Yang. Yuzhou province has also seen the emergence of a new ancient ruin, although no one has been able to enter it yet. The emergence of ancient inheritances not only hasn't decreased but has actually become more numerous. However, up to now, very few players have truly obtained an inheritance. This is not only because most inheritances, once they appear, are occupied by the powerful influences of the human race but also because the strength of players is too weak. In comparison, players in Tianjue province are, in fact, the luckiest. Although there is only one main inheritance of Gi sect, there are as many as 100 less important sub-inheritances, which ordinary players all have the chance to obtain, making players from other provinces envious. After browsing the forum for a moment, Sunan entered the game again. Tianjue province. His avatar had found the second place where a demonic beast was suppressed. Tiangong Pavilion has given me 6 locations where demonic beasts are suppressed, 3 of which are suspected to have emperor-level beasts, and 1 of which suppresses a late-stage emperor-grade beast, which I can't handle. Another beast has already been dealt with by me, and now this is the last one. Without waiting for the task refresh, the avatar found the formation and broke it directly. Before the beast could even react, it had already been severely injured. With God and Demon Sky Devour cast, another emperor-level demonic beast was devoured. This was the 4th emperor-level beast. He was still 26 short of advancing the Sky Demon Devouring God Sutra to the 6th layer. With 500 points of chi luck in hand and deducting 100 points for using the Art of Fate Tribulation, Wang Nan's available fortune returned to 400 points. Now it's time to deal with those guys from Destiny Society. The ancient desolate ruins are vast, and as the former location of the ancient wilderness sect, the core area of the ancient desolate ruins is equally extensive. The area is surrounded by mountains. Looking down from high above, these mountains faintly form the pattern of 9 dragons surrounding a pearl. And in the embrace of these many mountains is a single tall, straight small hill. On the small hill, there is only one collapsed pavilion, which seems unremarkable. Unknown to all, beneath this small hill lies great horror. Finally finished. In the vast cave, one of the 5 ancestors of Destiny Society nodded slightly as he looked at the altar that had been rebuilt. However, after the last incident, he did not dare to let his guard down until the last moment. Senior, the appearance of that demonic beast last time was too strange. This ancient desolate relic is literally barren. How could a demon beast appear? An youth asked beside the old man. This person was none other than the top expert of Tianjue province, Lu Di. Moreover, it seemed like that demon beast was specifically targeting us to prevent our ritual. Hearing this, the old man thought of the last incident and fell silent. He still hadn't figured out what exactly had happened last time. Perhaps it was just a coincidence, the old man said. This explanation seemed a bit far-fetched, and it was evident to all that it was no coincidence, but apart from that, he couldn't think of any other possibility. Without continuing on this topic, the old man asked, "Has there been any news about Wang Nan in these 2 days?" Lu Di answered, "Wang Nan's heavenly luck has soared in the last 2 days. His chi luck has gone from the original 1000 to nearly 5000 now. As he spoke, envy appeared in his eyes. 5000 points of chi luck, that's 8 or 9 times more than his. Chi luck has increased 5-fold, the old man's face darkened. He was not a player and could not see the chi luck ranking list, unaware of the concept behind 5000 points of chi luck. But chi luck increasing 5-fold in just a few days, even a fool would know that's not normal. With such a surge in chi luck, one can imagine that strength must have also grown significantly, something he absolutely did not want to witness. Most importantly, the strength of chi luck directly affected the effectiveness of his upcoming plans. The stronger the chi luck, the stronger the curse it can counter. We can't delay any longer, we must deal with that Wang Nan today, the old man declared solemnly. However, before the echo of his words faded, another voice suddenly rang out. Really? I'm curious to see how you plan on dealing with me. Who's there? The voice echoed in the cave as the old man turned abruptly, his heart sinking when he saw Su Nan, who had appeared without notice. On the side, when Lu Di saw Su Nan, he couldn't help but exclaim, Wang Nan. What? He is Wang Nan. Hearing Lu Di's words, the old man's pupils constricted. He had never seen Wang Nan before. The first time he saw Su Nan, he hadn't reacted, but now, hearing Lu Di's words, he was greatly shocked. How did you get here? Weren't you in Dongchen State? Did you find this place? One question after another spilled out, both the old man and Lu Di were stunned. Then, they thought of the previous encounter with the demonic beast, and in an instant, both men had a realization the previous demonic beast had been sent by Su Nan. Although they didn't understand how Su Nan had managed to make a demonic beast attack them. Naturally, Su Nan had no intention of answering their question, as he cast universe in the sleeve, a terrifying force of suction enveloping the old man. As the crisis struck, the old man finally realized the danger and attempted to react, but it was already too late. Being merely at the early stages of Emperor level, the old man stood no chance against universe in the sleeve, and was promptly drawn into it. After dealing with the old man, Su Nan did not show mercy, proceeding to kill all the remaining members of the Destiny Society. You, how can you be so powerful? Lu Di was horrified. Although he did not know which technique Su Nan had used, the disappearance of an emperor level was a tangible fact. Seeing Su Nan's gaze shift towards him, he finally reacted, and in the next moment, he vanished from the cave. Did he quit the game? Or did he run away? Su Nan frowned slightly but didn't pay it much mind. To him, a single Lu Di was of no significant concern. If he so wished, he could wipe out Lu Di's guild right now. With a wave of his hand, a fireball was launched, and with a roar, the newly built altar exploded. Roar! As if startled by the blast, a roar echoed from the depths of the cave. Su Nan's expression remained unchanged as he took a deep look into the depths of the cave, then turned and left. In Dongchen State, at 10,000 Demon Ridge. In a hidden cave dozens of miles away from Picking Star's Peak, several young men and women were gathered. Among them were Qianyu and Zhou Cheng. The demon clan's ancestral land will open tomorrow. Why hasn't that Zhang Yang arrived yet? A young girl among them said. Maybe he's given up on the task. Now that there's an ancient inheritance appearing, perhaps he's gone off to get the inheritance instead. Of course, it's also possible that we got it wrong, and he never triggered our task. Hearing this, everyone considered these two possibilities and fell into a moment of silence. Today is the 6th day of the 4th public test, which is also the 6th day of the Luck Child task. The first part of the Luck Child task spans only 10 days, requiring players to enter the top 10,000 of their respective races. To date, although there are few who have seen a rapid increase in Chi luck like Wang Nan, there are quite a few who have seen an increase of several hundred points. By now, the Chi luck ranking list has undergone significant changes. However, there has been no change in the Chi luck of these few individuals. Chapter 425, Stacked Good Fortune. To enter the top 10,000, Su Nan said in a low voice, you'd probably need about 700 to 800 points of Chi luck. We're all still quite short. Originally, with 10 days' time, even if we couldn't obtain the inheritance, we could still gather Chi luck through other methods. Now, we don't have much time left. Although the Demon Clan ancestral land will open today, whether we can obtain anything from it is still unknown, and we don't know how much time we will waste within it. If we are unlucky and encounter danger in the Demon Clan ancestral land, resulting in death, we'll waste at least another 2 days. After the fourth public test, the penalty for player death increased once you die in the game. You can only log in again 2 days later. It's already the 6th day now. If we succeed in this task, it would be fine, but if we fail, then we would be at a loss. It's very possible that we won't even be able to complete the first ring of the Luck Child's task. Although the rewards for the first ring of the Luck Child's task are not substantial for our current mission, and the reward's effect on Chi luck is not significant. If there's a chance, no one would willingly give up. At this point, we no longer have a choice. Moonfall and sunrise. A new day begins in the game. Picking Star's Peak is bustling today, as the geniuses from all clans gather together once again. Many set their sights on the Grand Hall at the peak, with anticipation in their eyes. Although we don't have the chance to enter the ancestral land, entering the Heavenly Demon Hall isn't bad either. If we're lucky, there's a good chance to gain fortunes, some players discussed. That's right, the ancestral land isn't as wonderful as it seems. Every time it opens, there are sure to be geniuses who fall, and there's a high chance of leaving empty-handed, another added. Some pretended to be satisfied, but as they spoke, their envious glances betrayed them as they watched the chosen geniuses with qualifications to enter the ancestral land. Sunan arrived, with the great princess standing beside him. I heard there's demon saint essence blood in the ancestral land. Do you know where it's most likely to be? Sunan whispered. In his previous foreknowledge attempts, he targeted the heavenly demon inheritance and did not consider the demon saint essence blood as his focus. Now about to enter the ancestral land, and with the task involving the theft of the demon saint essence blood entering its final phase, he could not afford to neglect it. Passing the heavenly demon's test might provide some rewards, but whether it includes saint-level blood essence is uncertain. Demon saint essence blood. The great princess looked at Sunan with puzzlement, not understanding why he would think of demon saint essence blood. However, as before, she did not ask further and, after pondering, said. Many powerful individuals were buried in the ancestral land during the ancient times, among them not a few of the demon saint level. But after tens of thousands of years, even if essence and blood remain, maintaining emperor level strength would be pretty good. Over the past few centuries, indeed there have been a few individuals who have found emperor level essence and blood there. Saint level essence and blood, however, has never been heard of. After a pause, she continued, most of that essence and blood was acquired within the great tombs deep inside the ancestral land. There are many great tombs in the ancestral land, so it's not impossible that they might contain saint-level essence and blood. All acquired from great tombs? Sunan nodded inwardly and couldn't help but think of the late-stage emperor-grade resentful demon that appeared at the end. The strength of a resentful demon is directly related to its strength in life. Such a demon, having late-stage emperor-grade strength even after death, my strength in life must have been extraordinarily powerful. If there's anywhere most likely to contain saint-level essence and blood, the tomb of that late-stage emperor-grade resentful demon certainly has the greatest possibility. If that tomb contains saint-level essence and blood, there might indeed be a chance to acquire it. In his foreknowledge, as long as he temporarily boosted his luck, the resentful demon would chase after the other few individuals, which would be his opportunity. With Across the Heavens shift, he was quite confident that he could dig up all the skeletons in the tomb before the resentful demon realized what was happening. But if he did that, he would inevitably attract all the resentment of the resentful demon. At present, I've achieved perfection in the first type of bloodline for all 3 of my roles, and with the progress of the Great Sun Golden Body scripture, I wonder if I have the strength to contend with that late-stage emperor-grade resentful demon. He was not fearful. Previously, he had the strength to contend with a mid-stage emperor-grade. Now that his strength had improved, although he still fell far short of directly contending with a late-stage emperor grade, if he wanted to escape, it shouldn't be a problem. Regrettably, his avatar was still in Tianjia province. With its help, things would be even more straightforward. Looking at the Heavenly Demon Hall, another idea came to Sunan's mind. Entering this Heavenly Demon Hall to pay homage provides a chance to absorb the power of the patterns on the stone pillars, thus awakening bloodline talents. I wonder if I use the turn of luck technique, could I also obtain the power from those carvings? He didn't know what criteria the carvings used to select a person, but he was confident in his turn of luck technique. He glanced at his foreknowledge. Today he had 32 foreknowledge opportunities, allowing him to foresee the future for 1.5 days. The upgrade of the Heavenly Demon Bone Umbrella should also begin now. It might come in handy when I enter the Demon Clan ancestral land. In his previous foreknowledge, he took out the bone umbrella in the ancestral land, resulting in an attack by a swarm of resentful demons, leading to his death. This reinforced his belief in the extraordinary nature of the heavenly demon bone umbrella. He had the premonition that perhaps on this expedition, he would have the chance to use the heavenly demon bone umbrella. The foreknowledge began. This time, exactly 30 foreknowledge opportunities were used up. You are about to enter the demon clan ancestral land, and you realize that the heavenly demon bone umbrella might be needed there. You decide to further enhance the power of the heavenly demon bone umbrella. You control your avatar to pour 140,000 drops of mortal grade essence blood on the heavenly demon bone umbrella. As the essence and blood replenishes it, strange patterns emerge on the umbrella, but aside from that, there are no other changes. As you continued to pour your essence and blood, with a total of 140,000 drops of spirit grade essence blood, the heavenly demon bone umbrella vaguely showed other changes. But upon close inspection, aside from discovering that the divine soul bred within the heavenly demon bone umbrella had fallen into a deep sleep, there were no other changes. The little umbrella has fallen into deep sleep. Could it be that after replenishing enough strength, the heavenly demon bone umbrella is about to advance? Sunan couldn't help but wonder. Having fallen into a deep sleep after the substantial replenishment of essence blood, that was the only possibility he could think of. Pity that foreknowledge didn't give him any hints. 1 hour later, your true body will enter the heavenly demon hall, where you will have a chance to gain the power of the heavenly demon hall and, thereby, awaken your talent. In order to obtain the assistance of the heavenly demon hall's power, you try to perform a technique of destiny manipulation, exchanging chi luck for temporary good fortune. As you perform the destiny manipulation technique, you consume all 900 points of chi luck from 3 characters, and your luck reaches an unprecedented peak. Yet, disappointingly, you do not gain the power from within the heavenly demon hall. 4 hours later, after the worship is over, the entry to the demon clan ancestral land opens, and you enter the ancestral grounds along with other geniuses of the demon clan. With the blessing of the destiny manipulation technique, upon entering the demon clan ancestral land, you are in good fortune. The chi luck takes effect, and under the dual influence of destiny manipulation and chi luck, you arrive at a strange place. Seeing this, Sunan's eyes lit up. Did the effects of destiny manipulation and chi luck stack up? The life wheel scripture's 5 abilities, life stealing and stealing heaven, need no mention. What follows are heavenly luck, fate tribulation, and destiny manipulation, all related to chi luck. Heavenly luck pertains to the manipulation of celestial fortune, which can consume it to trigger adventures, and the more celestial fortune one has, the easier it is to passively trigger good fortune. Destiny manipulation pertains to the manipulation of racial luck, allowing active acquisition of good fortune, which is different. Sunan had never thought that the effect of destiny manipulation could stack with that of heavenly luck. However, on second thought, this seems quite reasonable. Destiny manipulation allowed him to obtain good fortune temporarily, and if his luck was good enough, it could endlessly amplify the occurrence of some low probability events, while the passive effect of heavenly luck fits precisely into this condition of being triggered. Last time, by performing destiny manipulation in foreknowledge, I obtained a drop of demonic emperor essence blood. This time, with the double luck stacking, I wonder what kind of surprise it will bring me. Sunan revealed a hopeful expression. You find yourself at the bottom of a lake, surrounded by water which envelopes you, and at the bottom of the lake, you see a collapsed cluster of buildings. You realize that there might be some opportunity in these submerged ruins, and you attempt to search within the collapsed remnants. To your disappointment, after searching the entire relic, you didn't find any opportunity, and just when you're about to give up and leave, you faintly feel an invisible gaze upon you. Following that gaze, a stone sculpture comes into view. It's a sculpture with the body of a beast and the head of a dragon, and its eyes, unknown to you, had opened. 1 hour later, you learn that within this stone sculpture lies a remnant soul of a base from ancient times that has passed away, awakened by the aura of the dragon turtle, who is also an auspicious beast like itself. After a long time, the Bay's remnant soul will completely dissipate. Sensing that there are no other Bays in this world, the remnant soul does not wish its power to fade away and decides to pass on part of the Bay's power to your dragon turtle. The auspicious beast Bays. Sunan's eyes shone, somewhat surprised. He had not expected to find an auspicious beast within the demon clan ancestral land. But then again, he felt a twinge of disappointment. Clearly, this was an opportunity for the dragon turtle. The Bays wanted to pass on its remaining power to the dragon turtle, which wasn't of much relevance to him. Perhaps for other players, an entity like the dragon turtle would be their strongest trump card, and the dragon turtle's gaining of inheritance could greatly assist a player, perhaps even allowing them to soar to great heights. But for Su Nan, the little guy was merely a mascot, at best it could only increase his celestial fortune. No matter how powerful the little guy could become with the Bei's inheritance, how could it be stronger than him? Forget it, just hoping this time the little guy's realm can improve, Su Nan thought. If the little guy can break through to king level because of this, the mainline task of the dragon turtle's legacy can be completely fulfilled, and I will also receive rewards. After the moment of disappointment, Su Nan set his sights on the task at hand. He continued to read on, yet, the following information brightened his eyes once again. 6 hours later, the remnant soul of Bei's passed its strength on to the dragon turtle, and as the inheritance concluded, the dragon turtle fell into a deep sleep, its aura slowly increasing. At the same time, Bei's stone statue shattered, and to your surprise, you discovered a drop of king-level Bei's essence and blood still within the fragments of the statue. King-level Bei's essence blood. Su Nan's heart lifted with joy. That's more like it, with the powers of heavenly luck and shifting fortune, it would be unreasonable if he only received an inheritance that might not be useful to him. King-level essence blood was exactly what he could use. However, his brow furrowed immediately after, as auspicious beasts were not demons, and they cultivated not the Demon Sutra but breathing techniques. Without the Demon Sutra, he couldn't merge with the essence blood. So, what use was that essence blood to him? Frowning, Su Nan eventually pinned his hopes on the dragon turtle. Hopefully, the little guy has received the corresponding breathing technique in its inheritance. After leaving the lake, you explored the ancestral land, and 10 hours later, you encountered 2 outsiders. 14 hours later, you met up again with the Great Princess, and with your help, the Great Princess obtained a drop of Emperor-level essence blood left by a powerful person from the ancient Skywolf clan. 20 hours later, you arrived at the deepest part of the Demon Clan ancestral land and joined forces with several other Demon Clan geniuses. 1 day later, you and the other Demon Clan geniuses were attacked by a late-stage Emperor-grade resentful demon. Thanks to the art of shifting fortune, the resentful demon did not fixate on you. In your view, beneath the grave where the resentful demon resided, there might be a remnant of saint-level essence blood. While the resentful demon was preoccupied with the other geniuses, you quickly made your way to the great tomb of the resentful demon. You struck with all your might, blasting open the great tomb of the late-stage Emperor-grade resentful demon, revealing a huge skeleton that came into your view. Without a moment to spare, you immediately used Universe in the Sleeve to collect the skeleton and then continuously employed Across the Heavens shift to escape towards the stone hall of the heavenly demon inheritance. The resentful demon, in a rage, pursued you. However, your formidable strength allowed you to enter the stone hall without incident before the resentful demon caught up, successfully shaking it off. The moment you entered the stone hall, you fell into a deep sleep and entered the trial of the heavenly demon. When you awoke again, you had taken the form of a young heavenly demon. You knew that to fulfill the heavenly demon's dying wish, you had to lead the tribe members away to safety 100 miles away as quickly as possible. You immediately prevented 3 children from heading towards the stream, then returned to the tribe and informed the chieftain about what would happen the next day. After going back to check the situation at the stream, the chieftain believed your words, and after some discussions, decided to lead the tribe away using the route you provided. 1.5 days later, after a harrowing journey, you arrived 50 miles away. Luckily, when you passed through the territory of the first fierce beast, it did not target you. But when you passed through the territory of the second fierce beast, you encountered danger. A minute later, you suddenly saw a large number of wild beasts appearing around you, which attacked your group, forcing you to fight and slay them. 2 minutes later, a significant number of the wild beasts were killed by your party, but at the same time, many tribe members died tragically at the paws of the beasts. 3 minutes later, you failed to pass the test, and you died. Before dying, you saw that the wild beasts your group had slain transformed, taking on the appearance of your tribe members. The end of foreknowledge, the final outcome was unexpectedly unexpected. The tribe members turned into beasts. Was it an illusion technique? Su Nan's expression darkened slightly. He had anticipated dying to a fierce beast, but he hadn't expected to fail due to fratricide. That wasn't what truly concerned him. What caused his heart to sink was that he could now be certain that he couldn't open his personal space during the trial. I didn't take out anything mine in the foreknowledge, and the result is quite clear now, he reflected. Su Nan's brows furrowed deep. Not being able to utilize foreknowledge in the dreamscape undoubtedly added to the difficulty of passing the trial. To pass the trial, He had to find a way to clear it successfully before entering the dreamscape.